football team that has taken on the toughest strength of schedule so far this year, and it won't get any easier today. The third-ranked rushing offense comes in, and Carson-Newman, they're kind of back to their old ways.
Hey, I mean, you're right, and I think that's where the game for the Pioneers could really be won or lost if they can find a way to stop Carson-Newman's rushing. Almost 300 yards per game, first in the South Atlantic Conference, third in NCAA Division II. The key to it, to me, though, is if you look, Tusculum, we've seen them put the football on the ground a whole lot this year. Carson-Newman's done the same thing. If the Pioneers can force some turnovers and maybe get the ball in an advantageous spot on the field and maybe pick up where they did last week with that scoring match against UVA Wise, but they can't have that little falter that they did.
Well, the thing about Carson-Newman is what Tusculum does well, what they've done well here over the last 3 weeks is rush the football. Carson-Newman does well stopping the football. That's the thing about Carson-Newman. They've always had probably the most underrated defenses that have been out there. They've given up some points, sure, but they've always been very physical up front. The battle of physicality and the defensive line and offensive line today likely is going to be the key who wins this football game.
I mean, you're right. I mean, you just look at Carson-Newman's guys in the line. They've got some big guys there, some veteran guys up there, yes. So they know how to play. And honestly, they're going to be fired up today. They're playing for a division championship. They want to play for a South Atlantic Conference championship next week. And then we all know last year Tusculum defeated Carson-Newman in Mossy Creek for the first time since long before we were all born. So they're going to come in here with a little payback in mind.
That's what we're thinking. Tusculum and Carson-Newman as kickoff is on the way. We thank our sponsors, and we get you set for the home finale of Tusculum Football 2024. This is Pioneer Football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network. The Pioneers and the Carson-Newman Eagles for the 52nd time. The Pioneers will be kicking it away. The Eagles will drift back, who we believe, Jalon Pearson along with Cam Ferguson back to return at this kickoff. The Pioneer Sports Network, Radio Greenville Sports transportation provider is Gateway Ford Nissan. Stop by Gateway Ford right now and receive big bucks for your trade-in, plus service after the sale, 3 years maintenance free, and lifetime powertrain warranty. Baltzel puts foot to leather. It's underway here from Pioneer Field as Pearson will field it around the 15, 20, 25, 30, and he's up into there at the 31-yard line. Nice open field. Special teams play made by the Tusculum Pioneers, Antoine Robinson, the freshman from Apopka, Florida. So, Joe, will get to see this vaunted rushing attack of Carson-Newman right out of the gate.
I mean, and that's what they started out. They had a good return there, return of 20 yards, and it was just, straight power run up the middle. And we'll see how they do that here at their offense as well.
Here comes Zane Whitson and the Carson-Newman offense, 27 of 57 passing. They are efficient. They lead the South Atlantic Conference in yards per completion. It will not be Zane Whitson. It will be Justin Johnson who will start at quarterback, and he's put it on the ground. It's loose. It's fumbled, and the Pioneers believe they might have jumped on top of it, but I believe Johnson was able to pounce on it after he lost it. Just the 18th time the Eagles have put the ball on the ground this year. They've only lost 7 fumbles.
Well, and that's what I was saying in the pregame. If the Pioneers can somehow force turnovers, which, hey, that almost started out perfect for them, they could have opportunity here this afternoon.
Well, again, it's not Zane Whitson. It's going to be Johnson who is going to start at that quarterback position for the Carson-Newman Eagles. Not sure why Zane Whitson is not in there. Didn't learn of any of that. Pearson will get a rush to that's Ferguson to the right side. The Pioneers on an alignment assignment day stop him shy of the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 11 for the Eagles. They convert 49% of the time on 3rd down this year.
Well, here we go again. It's 3rd and long. You've got to get off the field. If you got them backed up 3rd and 12, don't give up 13 yards. You've got to get a stop right here to start this day off right.
Wise was 10 of 14 last week on third down. That was the huge difference in the football game. It didn't matter what down and distance it was. They converted. Johnson comes under center out of that wing T formation. Back to pass will be Johnson. He's looking downfield to the right side. That's incomplete on a pass that was intended for Jeremiah Carroll. It's going to be incomplete. It's fourth down. The Pioneers get a rare 3-and-out this year.
Really, I mean, and what better time to do it? It's homecoming here. You've got the best crowd we've seen all year, maybe in a couple years. Both sides full. We got Tusculum alums, Carson-Newman, a lot of local fans on the other side, people from all over East Tennessee and everywhere. So use this energy to get a good start, and the Pioneers did.
Grayson Campbell's the only other guy in the South Atlantic Conference that has a better net average than does our very own punter, as averaging 40.2 yards per punt. It's a gorgeous spiral, turns over. Carlton Terry fields it at the 24, makes a man miss at the 25, far side return at the 30, and takes a big hit out of bounds as he gets close to the 40-yard line. And I don't know if a flag flew on that far sideline. Officials are getting over there to talk about it, and if he had taken a step out, it looked as if through the binoculars he had taken 2 steps out. There is a flag down. I believe they're going to add 15 to this. Or they're going to say no foul. But it was a step out of bounds and took a big hit at the end of it. So 1st and 10 at the 39.
Well, that's good starting field position for the Pioneers. Would have liked to seen the extra 15, but this gives them an opportunity to get on the scoreboard first. Your offense came out your defense came out 3 big plays. Make Carson-Newman make a mistake, get a big stop, and then get off the field at third down. So we'll see if the offense can pick up here.
1st down and 10 for the Pioneers. It's Matt Palazzo's final game in front of the home faithful as he gets the start for Tusculum, along with Jalen Hunt, who's on his left shoulder. This is a play-action pass, rolling the pocket to the near side. He's got a man, Kamani Brown, also in his last game, complete into Eagle territory as he'll take it down to about the 48-yard line. Moves the chains, 1st and 10.
Nice pickup there for the Pioneers. First play of the game, Matthew play action there, kind of faked the handoff, dropped back, got Brown out here into the sideline and got the first.
It's an odd spot. Kamani Brown stepped out of bounds closer to the 46. They've spotted him out of bounds at the 49. If that was the case, then he didn't make the catch because he wasn't there. So 1st and 10 either way in Eagle territory. No score just underway here in this opening quarter of play. Snap is back. It's a bit high. Palazzo is going to shed a tackle that looks like was helmet high and grasping the face mask, but they didn't call that either. Martavis Mason makes the stop out of 96 South Carolina, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of Matthews' face mask there, and you could see his neck jerk down, but, I mean, it was just that quick. Hit it and let it go, and they were able to make a stop.
2nd down and 10 for the Pioneers. Kamani Brown to the far side as a wideout, along with Stinnett. Tight end Zach Maskey is lined up behind on the right side. This is going to be a pass complete to Hunter, who will make the short gain down to the 46-yard line. We're to bring up 3rd down and about 7. And on the stop for the Eagles is going to be Christian Hicks, the junior from Winston-Salem.
Pioneers have had a steady diet of passing the ball here on the first series. Let's take a look at what we did last week at UVA Wise with that rushing game and see if we can do something to move the chains.
3rd down and 7 with 3 wideouts. Kamani Brown, Stinnett, and Moreau to the far side. Hunter, the tight end, to the right side. He's on the line of scrimmage. Palazzo works out of the gun. He's got Hunt on his left shoulder. He hands it off to him right up the middle. The Eagles are ready for it. They allow just 99 yards per game on the ground. That's a gain of a yard. It's 4th down and 6 coming up for the Pioneers.
Did go with the rushing game, but not what they were doing against UVA Wise. Right up the middle, you got stuff. Last week, whenever they got outside, they got big yards and didn't even attempt it.
So the second leading punter in the South Atlantic Conference by virtue of net yards. His total yard average is absolutely killing everybody in the league this year, that being Stephon Forbes, who will step out for the Pioneers to punt it away. 39.8 net yard average this year for Forbes.
But that, unfortunately, that total yards means we're punting a whole lot.
A 45.4 yard total average this year. Back deep will be Williams. Forbes gets it away, angling it to the near side. It's actually going to hit a Pioneer but roll into the end zone. It hit the back of a Pioneer, but it eventually ended up rolling into the end zone as the gunner, Tyvon Irvin, was down there. It hit him at the 1, but just barely rolls into the end zone. So the Eagles will take over from the 20.
And there again, that's the
rule
that you've heard me complain about forever. If it had hit a defensive player at the 20 and rolled to the 15, they would have gotten the ball at the 20. But if you hit it at the 1 and it rolls into the end zone, then it still goes back.
Stupid rule.
It's two completely different rules for the same situation, depending on where it is on the field.
Justin Johnson, who has no starts, this just his 4th game, is 3 of 6 on the year, in at quarterback for his 2nd series. Solons lines up behind him in that wing tee with Ferguson. This will be Johnson to pass. Under some pressure, he's just going to unleash it towards the sideline. Now, he wasn't out of the pocket. He did have a man in the area. He threw it past the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, the Eagles did. It went and sailed right over his head. It was never going to be caught. It wasn't intended to be caught, but it was, there's no way it was intentional grounding. He just sailed it over into the bushes.
So the Pioneers, who got a 3-and-out on the opening drive, but they got a big stop on Ferguson behind the line of scrimmage initially. Don Bradley is lined up as the right back. Ferguson the left back. Solons is the feature back. He lines up behind Johnson out of the gun. They'll toss it to Solons, running it to the near side. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped shy of the 20-yard line at about the 18 or the 19-yard line, and that's Ernest Johnson III who makes the stop.
Defense so far has done a really good job here this afternoon. I hope they can keep it up all day.
Alignment assignment football. I was talking with Coach Taylor, and I said, listen, does your team feel a little bit more confident going up against an option-style team? He says, if we did, then we're not preparing for the right opponents each week. We don't see this every week, so we hope we have our alignment assignment correct. Ferguson on a quick handoff to the near side. The Pioneers stringing it out. Ferguson's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 as the Pioneer defense is flying. That's Darrell Smith.
It's going to bring up 4th down, Brian.
So a 4th down coming up for the Eagles. They'll have to punt it away again as Carlton Terry will drift back for the Pioneers to return it.
So 2 3-and-outs right now for the Tusculum defense. Couldn't have asked for a better start from that side of the football.
Campbell, a 49-yard punt his first time. Terry looked as if he was hit late out of bounds on the return, gave the Pioneers some good field position. Campbell will stand at the 2 to punt the ball away with the line of scrimmage around the 18. Snap is back. It's a good one. The punt away, it's also good. Terry fielding it on a bounce at the 41, makes the first guy miss, stays on his feet, and will go down around the 42. Good coverage by Carson-Newman, and the Pioneers will take over at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10.
Do have an injured Eagle player on the field. He took a pretty good tumble or lick or something there and went rolling across the turf and then just didn't even move.
There's also a timeout on the field, so we'll take it. We're back in 1 minute. 9:21 to play here in this opening quarter. It's Tusculum 0, Carson-Newman 0. Pioneer football continues after this, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network. To the Pioneer Sports Network here at Pioneer Field, where they continue to work on the injured Eagle. But before the game, Joe Bird was honored here by Tusculum University and the Vice President of Athletics, Josh Ely. And we were going back and we were trying to determine how many years, because I know that you were here before I got here, working as assistant sports editor there at the Sun, I guess assistant sports writer at the time. But did you were you covering a lot of the games for the newspaper at that time? Was it 95, 96 that you'd started?
Probably the first thing that I covered was honestly the Tusculum women's basketball team. I remember doing basketball, and that was probably in the fall of '94, so that's about right.
Okay, all right. So that was the thing. I said, well, probably not so much football, but as far as basketball, I mean, that was basically a local team at that time.
Yes.
That was the Susan Starnes era. Mm-hmm. That was a couple of the other players from Chuggy Dogue, from South Green, Unicoi, I think they had a couple of those girls here. That was Angelo Botta's year, right?
Yes, and of course, obviously I have to give the most thanks to the Tusculum women's basketball program because that's where I met my wife, Dr. Suzanne Bird.
Dr. Bird. And so they did a nice thing. That's at least cover. That's over 30 years. I was sitting there contemplating probably right around 30 for Joe, but he's been part of the Pioneer Sports Network for as long as I can remember. Because there's ever any time, and for a lot of people are like, it's Brian and Joe, and I was like, initially it was, Joe was just like, well, I'll do it. I'm going to the games anyway. So it was convenience. And then it got to the point we were always friends before that. I think one of the very first games that I ever covered for high school, we went to Unaka, we went to Stony Creek.
We did. And if you'll remember, I got a hold of you at the radio station, said, hey, tell me where you live, and I'll come pick you up, and I'll take you up there. You said, oh, I live way out. Said, you'll never be able to find me out here. And I said, okay, well, I'll just meet you at the Greenville Sun. And we met, and I said, well, where is it that you live that I can't find? It turns out you're a half mile out the road from me on my street.
I lived on Joe's Street. And we didn't know. And since it's been friendship ever since, so that friendship isn't going to end. But Joe's going to be moving away from us after this year. And I just want to say what's going on in the field. This was a pretty impressive thing. During the devastation, and Tusculum sent everybody home. We didn't have any water here on campus. Carson-Newman opened their doors and said, we have a brand new dorm. You bring your football team. You guys stay here and practice here. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good outreach for Carson.
Yeah, I mean it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, sports rivalries, everything is great and awesome. But we're all right here, neighbors and community and conference members, and you do what you can to help one another.
And that was definitely what Carson-Newman did. So administration, coaches there at Carson-Newman, thank you. You guys don't know what it meant to this college, this university, this place of higher education, but also for this community, for what it was, for what everybody did and how they did that. And right now being recognized on the field, the people who are here in the stands, the standing ovation, and well worth it.
Right, we do have other games going on in the South Atlantic.
Oh, is there football going on?
There's football going on.
Okay.
In the second quarter, Limestone hosting Barton. Limestone leading that game 16-13. UVA Wise at Emory and Henry. The Wasps lead that 7-0. Rest of the conference games at 1:30. Newberry kicks off at Wingate. Mars Hill is at Anderson 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Lenoir-Rhyne is at Catawba.
All right, the injured player was the long snapper, and that was Andrew Bradshaw. We believe that it was friendly fire. He got blindsided by one of his own players and is able to walk off the field, fortunately enough. So we resume play. First down and 10 for the Pioneers at the 42-yard line, and the carry will cross the 45 up to about the 47, and another injured Eagle on the play after a gain of 5 to bring up second down and 5.
I'm not real sure what happened here. It looks like he's holding his arm, but his helmet come flying off.
He took his helmet off. I think it was just kind of dangling there, and it's either a shoulder or, yes, some type of an arm is what it appears, and it's unsure as to who it is at this time who was in there to make that tackle. Well, Campbell's punt went 43 yards, and Terry returned it just 2 yards. And on a cutback, the long snapper took a shot, and he went out. And now Cruz Temple, the sophomore out of South Carolina, Arkansas State transfer, appears to be okay. Maybe just a stinger type of a thing, because it looked as if potentially maybe he was just kind of holding his shoulder. So he runs off the field under his own power. So Temple appears to be okay. He's in the top 10 in tackles this year for Carson-Newman.
Right now, the Carson-Newman defense coming back out. Tusculum offense is continuing to work well. Hopefully we can keep this going.
So second down and 5 for the Pioneers. No score here in the opening quarter with 9:27 on the clock. The Eagles have run 6 plays. The Pioneers went 3 and out on their first series, and this being their second series. This will be Palazzo will roll the pocket to the far side. It's complete to Kamani Brown. He's got another first down. I said 3 and out. He had the initial first down of the game, and then the Pioneers went 3 and out. He's got another first down into Eagle territory to the 42-yard line. Keep throwing it to Showtime.
Kamani Brown doing a good job receiving for the Pioneers this year. Averages 19.4 yards per catch. And, not quite at his average, but he's certainly helping it.
It's taken about 5 games, but he's finally surpassed his brother for the receptions lead, not the yards lead just yet. Collins hasn't played since the LR contest. This will be a handoff on a counter to Jalen Hunt on 1st and 10. He'll take it inside the 40-yard line, take it down to the 38-yard line, and he's rudely thrown backwards as he stopped by Kendall Williams and company. It's 2nd down and about 6.
Yeah, did pick up about 4 before he ran into a wall of Carson-Newman defenders, and as you say, they threw him back, but forward progress is still a nice little pickup on 1st down.
2nd down, a long 6, they say, just about the 39, so more like 7. One back in the backfield as the Pioneers will go 11 personnel. The tight end lined up to the left side. Back is Jalen Hunt playing his final game in front of the home fans. Palazzo with a check with me on the sideline. And with 4 seconds on the play clock, he'll take the snap chest high. Snap is back. Hunt gets the football on the handoff, and they've ruled him down. I didn't think he went down initially. They're going to rule him down about the 42-yard line. He got stopped by that defensive front, and reaching out to make the play was Bartavis Mason, a freshman out of 96, South Carolina. It's 3rd down and 5.
You know, whether he was down or not, give him credit. He kept going because there was no whistle. So, they decide later he was down, whatever, but you keep going till you hear the whistle, and he did.
Did you see him go down?
It looked close. I mean, it looked like he got a hand down and maybe kept his knee off the ground. I couldn't really see from here, but I definitely didn't hear a whistle.
Yeah. 3rd down and 5 for the Pioneers. No score, first quarter. 2 wide outs to the near side, tight end to the left. Snap is low. Palazzo picks it up, looks to pass to the far side. He's got Hunter, and he's reaching for a 1st down. He's got it just inside the 31. Near the 30 is Reginald Hunter, and on the stop is Champ Baker, but another 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Going to spot the ball at about the 31-yard line. They got just what they needed for the 1st down, and a fresh set here, getting close to the red zone.
And it was a great catch by Hunter, a guy that I really thought we would see a whole lot more this year in receiving numbers. Reginald came in with just 10 catches, tied for the team lead in receptions, now with 11. Kamani Brown now the team leader with 12 catches on the year. Snap is back with 2 backs in the backfield. This is going to be Dominic Vance right up the middle, and he takes on that Eagle defensive front for a gain of 2 down to the 29-yard line before he stopped. Cruz Temple, by the way, back in the game for the Eagles, and it's 2nd down and 8.
The Pioneers keep trying to utilize the running game right up the middle there with minimal success. I hope they're doing that just to set up the outside a little bit later here, because you did see Matthew rolling out with a pitch man, but he had already handed the ball off on a dive.
What have we seen this year? The most success has usually been on the edge in the running game. 2nd down and 8. JoJo Restall can account for that. Of course, we haven't seen JoJo but a couple of times in the game. This is play action. Palazzo to pass. He's looking downfield, and this pass is going to be incomplete. That's really good coverage by Major Williams. And it forces 3rd down and 8 for the Pioneers at the Eagle 29.
Well, I think the Pioneers definitely in 2-down territory right here. Not quite in field goal range, or certainly what we saw over the last few weeks. But, do what you can and keep this thing moving.
So Otasowe Dion will check in. He has been a guy that's kind of been an X factor. I don't know if that's Tyvon Irvin is checked in. It could be Ashton Hagans. So Carlton Terry, kind of new set of wide receivers, new set of running backs in the backfield with Jalen Hunt. Otasowe Dion. It is Ashton Hagans and Terry to the near side. 1 second. They get the playoff just in time. They're going to run a reverse, and it's read brilliantly by the Eagles. And somehow Hagans gets free. Hagans on his feet at the 35 to the 30 to the 25, and he makes something out of nothing. There is no way. Should have been hit and dropped back at the 42, but he takes it all the way down to the 24, where it's still 4th down, but 4th down and manageable.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you make something out of nothing. He was caught dead to rights. They were running into each other in the backfield. It was just too crowded back there to try that play, and just persistence kept it going and gave the Pioneers opportunity here.
What a play. I mean, he ran 70 yards to get 6. 4th down and about 3 for the Pioneers. They'll go for it with the offense out there, 10 seconds to get the playoff. 2 tight ends stacked to the right side. This is going to be Palazzo to pass it. It'll be complete to the 20, inside the 20, and into the Walmart distribution scoring zone for Reginald Hunter on a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Got what they needed there. Get the Pioneers into the red zone. Give yourself an opportunity as we're under 5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter.
No score. The Pioneers on the most sustained drive of the game, just the second drive of the game for the Pioneers. Eagles are going to make a complete defensive line change. So the Pioneers, Garrett Priest will lead the Pioneer offense to the line of scrimmage. Backs are split in the gun with Palazzo. JoJo Restall on the right shoulder. Snap is back. They'll run the option to the far side. Palazzo is going to keep it around left end at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, and he's got it first and goal for the Pioneers near the 7 where he stepped out of bounds, and the Pioneers knock it on the door.
Great job by Matthew Palazzo there. The Eagles were really focusing on the pitch man there, and he realized what was going on. Just tucked the ball and cut in between two defenders and hit the sideline.
Pioneers, who have won 3 straight against the Eagles in the series, have won 4 straight here at home. And are looking to extend that, but obviously very early here in this first quarter. Hagens to the far side. 2 wideouts to the near side, including Terry. Restall on the right shoulder of Palazzo. Palazzo is going to keep it. He's going to fake the pitch. He's going to fake out a couple of guys and get it inside the 3, I believe, as Christian Hicks, the team's leading tackler, makes the stop. But that's good coverage and pursuit by the Eagle defense on 2nd and goal now.
It was a little bit of a busted play there for the Pioneers. Palazzo trying to make something out of nothing like we saw earlier, and he did. He was able to get positive yardage.
3.5 to play in this opening quarter. The clock runs. I don't think they gave him any gain on that play, so just inside the 4-yard line for the Pioneers. As Garrett Priest in the offensive line to the line of scrimmage. Reginald Hunter is off on the left side as tight end or an H-back position. Restall on the right shoulder of Palazzo. This will be Palazzo to pass. It'll play action looking for Hunter, and it's broken up incomplete as defending on the play was Kendall Williams. It's 3rd down and goal from the 4.
Pioneers need to make something happen right here. You've done all this work to get yourself down here with an opportunity. You got to put the ball in the end zone.
So Tusculum facing a 3rd down and goal here. No score. Of course, look at the Carson-Newman games here of late. They lose to Emory and Henry and then beat Anderson last week in a 28-7 game. The Eagles are going with Justin Johnson at quarterback today, and it's just his first start of his career and just his 4th game this season. Palazzo out of the gun. Restall on his left shoulder. Snap is back. They fake the give to him. Palazzo's going to keep it. He's going to get into the end zone. Matthew Palazzo. Touchdown Pioneers. Touchdown Palazzo as he touches Pater on 3rd down from 4 yards.
Well, we know Matthew Palazzo wasn't the only Pioneer to contribute to that drive, but he was certainly the deciding factor because once they got down here close, a lot of the work he just simply did himself through persistence in his last home game.
Palazzo, 2,700 career passing yards, 9th in school history. His completions, his pass attempts, 9th in school history. As Pittman to add the point after is up and good, and more on the Matthew Palazzo career when we come back after this. Back in 30 seconds, 3:05 to play opening quarter. It's Tusculum 7, 21st ranked Carson-Newman 0. Pioneer football continues, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Conference football scoreboard. 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Limestone 16, Barton 13. And 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Emory and Henry 7, UVAY 0.
Plays 58 yards, 6:45 off the clock. The Pioneers gained 4 first downs on that drive. They officially rule it a 3-yard touchdown run for Matthew Palazzo, but more like 3.5 or 3 3.75. And it gets into the end zone for the Pioneers on that rushing touchdown. Matthew Palazzo out of Chucky Oak High School here in Lower Afton. And I think he was one of those kids you thought, well, I hope he has a great career at Tusculum. Man, has he been impactful. A division title starting quarterback last year, and now this year trying to guide this young Pioneer football team. Kickoff fielded at the 5-yard line, returned by Pearson out to the 35-yard line, but there is a penalty flag thrown well behind the play in the area that would indicate potentially a hold or a block in the back against the Eagle return team. But so that's going to negate good starting field position for a Carson-Newman team that's run 6 plays.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good break for the Pioneers. The penalty goes the way we think it will. back the Eagles up and then let your defense come in and do it again.
So the officials are sitting there talking about our referee today is Todd Boyd. In this rivalry game between Tusculum and Carson-Newman. Oh, wait, it's going to be a face mask against the Pioneers. So now, where you think the Carson-Newman's going to have terrible field position, they have great field position near midfield. As a matter of fact, right at midfield.
Right at midfield, and knows the ball spotted on the 50-yard line.
So a huge penalty against the Pioneers, and that seems to just come back and bite them all the time. Now, Carson-Newman down 7-0. No time to panic. Justin Johnson is the quarterback. Solon's the feature back. Bradley on the right, Ferguson on the left as the two wingbacks, and one wide out to the far side for the Eagles is Cade Meeks. Snap to Solons right up the middle, and Solons will get with great surge down to about the 45 of the Pioneers. First time they crossed midfield on the day. This is the third series for Carson-Newman. They make it 2nd and 5, and as a matter of fact, it's their most productive play of the game. They are sitting on -5 yards total.
Looking around the conference, Brian, at half, Barton leads Limestone 20-16 in Gaffney, South Carolina. Emory and Henry leading at home 14-0 over UVA-Wise with 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Johnson, Solons, right up the middle, and it's a shoestring tackle by TJ Jingosian, but it's the first down of the game for the Eagles. They take it to the Pioneer 38-yard line.
All right, now the defense just needs to recover. They've done a good job so far. You know, special teams, you gave up the big penalty in the return, so defense needs to go back to what it was doing those first two series.
7-0 Tusculum on the first down carry for Carson-Newman. Solons, his third consecutive run, and he'll take it right up the middle, and that's going to be Devin Brantley at the bottom of that pile, but inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. It's another gain of 5. It's 5 yards in a cloud of dust for the Eagles right now.
You know, Solons coming into the game, obviously the go-to guy for the Eagles, 148 rushes so far on the season, nobody else even close.
He's averaging 99.9 yards per carry, the junior out of Coleman, Alabama. Johnson under center. This is going to be Solons again. He's going to take it for a first down and probably a lot more on a face mask that is likely to be tacked on here on the second face mask of this series, as Ernest Johnson III made the tackle, but not before a first down carry by Solons.
Yeah, pretty sure that's what we call a no-doubter, because whenever 4 flags flying in at the same spot, I'm pretty sure everybody saw what happened.
It is a no-doubter. Todd Boyd's going to tell us what we already know. Ernest Johnson becoming the 21st player in school history to cross the 200 tackle plateau last week in the loss to UVA-Wise. Credited with that tackle and the penalty as Carson-Newman is into the Walmart distribution scoring zone as they'll take it down to the 13-yard line. Trailing in the game 7-0. So into the contest has come tight end Blake Chenault. He wears number 60, and this is basically an extra offensive lineman, really. The wide receiver is on the line of scrimmage to the right side. They run against that to the boundary side and force back. Tarek Pons, a little extra shove as he makes that stop, and it's no gain, or maybe a half a yard of a gain. Second down. Ooh, they gave him a whole lot more than I thought, and it didn't look like he had any yards.
Yeah, it's definitely a favorable spot for the Eagles. Move it down to a couple yards.
Yeah, it's second down and 8 from the 11, where it looked like he didn't even get to the line of scrimmage. That's good surge by the offensive line of the Eagles. Under center will be Johnson. This is going to be Johnson. He's going to keep it. I think he lost it, and he was able to get it back. TJ Jingosian with the big hit. He did lose it. The beanbag went down, but Johnson recovers his second fumble of the game, and it's 3rd down and 8 at the 11.
That's what I was about to say. The Eagles have already here in the first quarter put the ball on the ground twice. They've got it back both times, so the Pioneers just need to keep digging at that and try to force turnovers.
20 seconds to play here in this opening quarter where the Pioneers lead 7-0. An Eagle team that does have a good kicking team as well. They will have to snap it, I think, before the quarter ends. Johnson comes under center. He's rolling the pocket to pass. Looking downfield, he's got a man at the corner of the end zone. Did he get a foot down? They say, if he got a foot down, that was an amazing catch. They say he did at the 1 where it'll be first and goal. I don't know if they'll want to look at this, but I think it's too risky to try to throw a flag. I don't think he got a foot down. As it stands, that's the end of the first quarter. We'll go to a break, discuss it back in 1 minute. At the end of one quarter, it's Tusculum 7, 21st ranked Carson-Newman 0. Pioneer football continues after this. Driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network.
And the Tusculum Athletics Department is proud of its outstanding faculty members which serve our university. These men and women go above and beyond in teaching and preparing our students. Today's faculty member of the game is Lana Monday. Lana serves as an assistant professor of art and design at Tusculum University. Prior to Tusculum, she acquired over 13 years of service in higher education, plus more than a decade of industry television and media experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our Tusculum faculty member of the game, Lana Monday.
It is first and goal at the 1 yard line for the Eagles, and on 1 yard to go this year, I saw a number that I thought was interesting in Cavaliers' stats. The Eagles get that 1 yard 98% of the time. Yeah, that's so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this game potentially could be tied within the next play. Carson-Newman. Justin Johnson, starting at quarterback, lines up under center. They're heavy right side. Johnson goes right up the middle into the end zone for the score and the touchdown. The Eagles are a point away from tying it up as Justin Johnson will get into the end zone for the Carson-Newman Eagles. The surprise start in this game for this Carson-Newman Eagle team.
Yeah, we expected to see the junior quarterback out of Dobbins-Bennett here playing for the Eagles today, but as it is, Whitson not on the field so far.
So Justin Johnson, his first rushing touchdown this year. He has a passing touchdown, but this being his first rushing touchdown of the season. So the point after by Bennett Smith is up, and the point is good, and the Eagles have tied the game. We're back to Pioneer Field in 30 seconds with your new score. It's Tusculum 7, 21st ranked Carson-Newman 7. Pioneer football is driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Tusculum University is the right choice for your degree.
Your professors will know you, and you will meet students from all over the world.
You can do cutting-edge research.
You'll have fun.
And best of all, you can afford it.
We offer associate's, bachelor's, and master's degrees and more than 60 majors and minors within a caring Christian environment. Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Hummel, the president of Tusculum University, and I invite you to become a pioneer, a member of the Tusculum family.
After the face mask penalty, it's 8 plays, 50 yards, 3 minutes off the clock, and the Carson-Newman Eagles are into the end zone on the Justin Johnson 1 yard plunge, and the Smith point after to make the game 7-7.
Yeah, I actually would like to see the Pioneers put a little bit more effort into their field or their extra point defense, because honestly the football rolled back to the holder.
Yeah.
If somebody had have actually been going after the football, they might have had a chance to block it.
A.J. Hill is back deep for the Pioneers, along with Irvin. It'll be Hill at the 5. 10, 15, makes one guy miss, 20, and then is taken down around the 18, and a penalty flag is down. This will likely go against the Pioneers half the distance, and that'll be a 1st and 10 at the 8 yard line.
Of course it will, because, I mean, it was a return for the Pioneers, so there's going to be a penalty flag.
Yeah. Even when there's a return for the opposition, it goes against the Pioneers, the way this game has gone.
Yeah.
Two teams that average about 60 yards and penalty yards per contest, both Tusculum and Carson-Newman. The Eagles have been flagged more times this year, but that's because they played one more game. I have never heard of that before.
Unsportsmanlike conduct
Non-contact foul.
during the run of play. I mean, if it's dead ball, unsportsmanlike, okay. I mean, that's sort of a normal thing. But during the run of play, you have a non-contact play. Obviously, somebody said something.
Did you fake a hit? Did you fake a block?
I don't know.
Like I said, it's against Tusculum. The ball's back at the 9. Matthew Palazzo and the Pioneers take over their 1st and 10 out of their wing tee set. Palazzo will come under center. It's going to be John Celestin with the toss to the right side. Celestin trying to get the edge, 10, and he'll work his way out of bounds near the 13-yard line where he'll be taken out of bounds by Mekhi Brown, a sophomore out of Florida. And it's going to bring up second out about 6. It depends on the spot, which has been terrible. So second down and 7. I've not understood the spotting today of the football game.
Yeah, that was one not the play the Pioneers were really looking for. It did pick up yards, so they got some work to do here on second down. Just could not quite hit that corner.
Inverted bone. Palazzo works out of the gun. He's got Vance lined up behind, make that Goho lined up behind him. Celestin on the on the left shoulder of Palazzo as they go right to left. Palazzo going to keep it. Maybe he should have given it up. And he may get back to the line of scrimmage. We're to bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Pioneers.
I'm not a great fan of that formation. You had 4 guys in the backfield there, and they were all shoulder to shoulder. No one really had anywhere to go without bumping in and running into each other, getting in their way, and that's exactly what happened. It's the reason Palazzo couldn't really maneuver and do anything. He just didn't have room.
I saw that a bunch last night, and it didn't work a whole lot last night either.
I mean, it would have been fine if the guys in the backfield had spread out a little bit.
Eagles are zero coverage. There's no safety deep. They've got 3 wideouts near side for the Pioneers. Celestin on the right shoulder of Palazzo, out of the gun to pass. With time, across the middle, and he's got a man complete. Stinnett as he makes a lunging grab across the 20 at the 21, playing his final game at home here today for the Pioneers, and it will move the chains. 1st and 10 for Tusculum.
Got exactly what he needed for the first down, kind of paid the price, just getting upended and coming down on his head, but he held on to the football to move the chains.
What a catch by Stinnett. He's been that sure-handed guy, that Wes Welker type receiver for the Pioneers. Here's that inverted bone again out of the gun. Goho is the fullback or the feature back for the Pioneers. Palazzo with the snap. He's going to hand it off this time to Goho. He'll work it across the 20, maybe the 22, but they'll spot it at the 23. Okay, we'll take it. 2nd down and 7.
Maybe that's a makeup yard for one of the previous spots. Oh, we owed you a yard. Here we go, guys.
Awesome. 7-7, Tusculum and Carson-Newman. 12:20 to play here in this 2nd quarter. Moreau is lined up to the far side. Kamani Brown and A.J. Hill to the near side. Jalen Hunt back in the game. And the right shoulder of Palazzo works out of the gun. Hunter, the tight end, is lined up to the left, just off the line of scrimmage. Handed off to Hunt to the near side, trying to string it out. It's great defense. That is fabulous defense by the safety, Major Williams, who comes up to make the tackle for a loss of 3 on the play at about the 20 to 21-yard line. It's 3rd down and 9 for the Pioneers.
Yeah, Williams had that had the play sniffed out right from the get-go, and just blazing speed, got back from his position. I mean, a good 15 yards downfield and made the big tackle for the Eagles.
Yeah, Williams read that. Well, that has been the play that has worked the most. Williams, the 3rd leading tackler on that Eagle defense. So 3rd down and 9 for Tusculum. They have converted 1 on this drive. Can they convert another? This is going to be a handoff on a jet sweep to Moreau. Moreau, he's got some daylight at the 30, and he'll move the chains for a 1st down, but there is a flag coming from the back judge 35 yards away.
Yeah, I have no idea what. It's going to be a hold against the Pioneers, undoubtedly. Of course it was.
How does that guy see it?
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't see it because I was watching Moreau, seeing how far he was going to get. But you say the back judge come in from 35 yards away and allegedly saw something through a whole crowd of 22 players.
On top of that, what an arm.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw that flag from midfield. So 3rd down and about 15. They move it to the 15-yard line. Pioneers need maybe just beyond the 30 for a 1st down. And I'm talking about half a football length beyond the 30. Restall is in the backfield with Palazzo. Negate the first down. Palazzo out of the gun to pass. Under pressure, he's blitzed. It's picked off. 15, 10, 5, house. Touchdown, Carson-Newman. Touchdown, Jimmy Olorinde.
Right there goes show you where penalties and mistakes hurt you. It's not the mistake itself. It's what happens after the mistake. You had the penalty that negated the first down, and then you throw a pick six.
No interceptions in the last 2 games for Palazzo, but that's the 3rd time he's thrown a pick six on the year.
Just a terrible, terrible break for the Pioneers, and, you kind of do it to yourself, I suppose.
So Smith will be in to attempt the extra point. I don't know if the long snapper, Bradshaw's back into the game. He was injured early, and I still can't see if it is in fact him or not. It is not. So it's the backup snapper. I think that's Jet Jones. Snap, hold, kick by Smith is up, and the kick is good. So a defensive pick six, and the Eagles have taken a lead. We go to a break, back in 30 seconds, 10:52 to play in the first half. It's now Carson-Newman 14, it's Tusculum 7. Pioneer football is right back after this, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Military Appreciation Day at Tusculum University. Active members of the United States Armed Forces, as well as our veterans, have been our guests at today's game. At this time, if you are able, we ask all veterans and current members of the Armed Forces to please stand and be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and give these brave people a standing ovation. We thank you very much for all you have done and continue to do in defense of our nation. Once again, fans, we remind you to stay with us at halftime.
Jimmy Olorinde as the Tusculum Pioneers. Matthew Palazzo picked off. That's his 6th interception, the 3rd time that an interception has been returned for a score so far on this season. And really, Joe, that's, yes, field position penalties, a lot of that contributing to that play right there. It's not all on Palazzo, but just got to be a better read across the middle as well. But got to eliminate some of these silly penalties.
And I don't know what was seen, what was not seen, but he literally threw the ball right to the defensive player. And whenever I first saw it, I didn't even recognize it as one of the Eagles. I was like, oh, he's throwing short. Oh, wait a minute. That guy's wearing a white jersey.
Yeah. Carson-Newman has not been penalized in this football game. The Pioneers, 4 penalties for 48 yards. You can do the math. Every penalty has been detrimental. Kickoff, A.J. Hill and Irvin back. This is Irvin from that far side at the 5. Irvin with speed to the near side. He's just tripped up where he has the edge. He just couldn't get there. It's like he was on skates a bit. And Nehemiah McCoy makes almost a touchdown-saving tackle against one of the best returners for the Pioneers this season, and as far as yards are concerned, in Tyvon Irvin.
Well, each of the last 2 returns have been very similar. If he could have just gotten one more half step to get to that corner, it would have been a big return for the Pioneers. Unfortunately, just couldn't do it. But fortunately, no penalty on this return.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. They trail for the first time of the game, 14-7. Palazzo is out there. Hunt as the right back. Restall the left back. And the feature back is going to be Goho. Lead toss to the near side is Hunt, and Hunt is going to be escorted out of bounds quite rudely at about the 17-yard line. That's very good defensive recognition by Ja'Cory Long, who makes the play for a loss of about a yard, maybe 2 at 2nd and long.
Yeah, play's not been real good to the Pioneers. Just can't get the blocking they need to get around the edge. Some more of those scores, Brian. It's still halftime. Barton leads Limestone 20-16. 10 minutes, 27 seconds left in the second. Emory and Henry up 14-0 over UVA Wise. And number 24, Wingate leads Newberry 13-0.
It's interesting as Limestone led that game a minute into the game against Barton. Here's Palazzo. He's thrown another pick at the 30, 20, 15, down to the 5. First and goal for the Eagles. Threw it right to him.
Two in a row. I don't know what the Pioneers got to do to get that corrected, but not what you can let have going on against this Carson-Newman football team.
He was under pressure in the backfield. He had 2 receivers in the same vicinity, and again, a lot of this doesn't always go on the quarterback, but he was throwing it, and maybe somebody just didn't run the correct route, the route he was anticipating. Of course, he didn't have a lot of time to think about it as he was under immense pressure in the backfield, but what it has done is set up first and goal at the 4-yard line for the Eagles, leading at 14-7 and taking advantage of Pioneer mistakes. Justin Johnson comes under center. He'll hand it off to the fullback, who will get into the end zone for the score. Touchdown Eagles. Touchdown Carson-Newman. Jalen Solons scoring from 4 yards.
And not a pick six, but it just as well have been. And the ball was thrown right to Carson-Newman. It wasn't like somebody's breaking and jumping routes or something like that. It's more or less they're surprised to, oh, hey, how did I get the football? And this time they didn't get in, but one play later they did.
Jaden Solons with his 9th rushing touchdown of the year. And the game has gone over 900 yards on the season. And back-to-back interceptions leads to back-to-back scores for the Eagles. Snap, hold, kick. And it's good. We have not even played, well, we have played 5 minutes of the second quarter, and the Eagles have 21 points in 5 minutes. Kickoff is coming up. It's now Carson-Newman 21, Tusculum 7. Pioneer football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan, continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network. Joe Bird and the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Hubbard. Glad you could be with us. Jessica Biggers on the TV side of things here for Flow Sports through the South Atlantic Conference and the SAC.com. Jaden Solons, a 4-yard touchdown plunge after the second interception thrown in as many pass attempts by the Pioneer offense, and it's 21-7 after the one play. A.J. Hill, far side return to a near side, and he's in trouble inside the 10. He makes 2 guys miss, breaks free at the 10, at the 15, 20, 25, 30, A.J. Hill 40. Tripped up nearly at the 45, and he's saved by the kicker at the Eagle 49-yard line as the kicker makes the tackle, and Andrew Seibert, and it saves a touchdown. The Pioneers have something going thanks to the heroics of A.J. Hill inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, there once again, we've seen this already. That is what you call making something out of nothing. He was caught dead to rights. He keeps trying. The last 3 kickoffs, he's always wanted to come to this near sideline, and finally the third one, I was like, well, the Eagles are figuring this one out. And he was just able to slip free, run backwards, run across the field, and finally do a little couple hop steps and get the Pioneers across the 50-yard line.
So he was trying to break the tackle at the 45. He jumped into the waiting arms of Seibert at the 49 of the Eagles. So 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Palazzo to pass. It's dropped. Tyvon Irvin just drops it. He was open and had some blockers in front of him. Sets up 2nd down and 10. So the passing game, the last 3 passes, 0 for 3, 2 picks, and 1 drop.
Yeah, the drop there, that's not Palazzo's fault. He read the play, had a wide open man, and just ball hit the ground.
Kamani Brown, Corey Moreau to the far side. Hunter is lined up to the near side as the H-back for the Pioneers. Palazzo works out of the gun. Snap is back, handed off to John Celeste, and he's tracked down at the line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard at the 50-yard line. Is on that tackle. It says Storm Livesey. He's wearing number 15. He's also a backup running back for the Eagles, I guess. Maybe they've just converted him to a defensive end. Surely not.
You normally wouldn't think you would go from backup running back to defensive end, but You never know.
Storm Livesey, that's a dude from Claiborne County High School.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also sounds like a radio DJ name. That's what that sounds like. It's 3rd down and 10. Pioneers got to make something happen out of that great return by A.J. Hill. Palazzo out of the gun with the snap to pass, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be cut down at about the 46. It's nothing but Eagle pressure right now. Livesey with yet another stop for the Carson-Newman Eagles, and it's 4th down and 7. The punt team will come out for Tusculum.
Well, about the only thing we can hope right now is Forbes does a really good job of, I don't guess you can say flip the field because they're already across midfield, but hopefully he can pin the Eagles back deep and let the defense try to do something to motivate this team again.
Meeks will drift back to return the punt for the Eagles. Not listed on the 2 deep as a punt returner, but very dangerous. Snap is back. It's low. They come after it. And Forbes gets it away. It's brilliant. It dies at the 5 and takes a roll to the 6 and out of bounds there. And Stephon does his job. What a phenomenal punt with pressure right in his face. So Carson-Newman will start deep in their own territory at the 6.
Well, it's about the best you could hope for right there. Did exactly what was said. Just pin them deep, and hopefully the defense can get back to doing what it was doing in the first quarter.
They'll rule it at the 7. So I've been a yard off all game. So maybe it's my compass. My compass is messed up today, Joe. That's what it is. I'm just going to call it that and say that's what it is. 21-7, the Carson-Newman Eagles have scored 21 points in 5 minutes of this second half. They did it the first 5 minutes of the second quarter, 4 seconds into the quarter, a pick 6, and then another interception down to the 3, 1 play into the end zone.
Well, I mean, I was talking about the Tusculum defense. And go, what's going on here in the second quarter? Not really the defense's fault because they've not had the opportunities.
So from the 7, this is going to be Johnson. He's going to keep it on the fake, and he'll take it across the 10 and then be forced up to about the 12. But it's another 5-yard gain on first down. It's 2nd down and 5, and that's what the Eagles did on their long sustained drive when they scored the touchdown to tie the game. They picked up 5 yards on a clip.
Yeah, I mean, and that's always going to be winning football, and that's how the Eagles did it all those years under Coach Ken Sparks. You don't have to have the great big explosive play if you just keep getting the 5 and 6 yards at a time.
But what will eventually happen is getting that big explosive play. So the handoff is to the fullback dive. That's the back, Jaden Solons, and Solons is cut down right at the line of scrimmage at maybe a half yard. So 3rd down, about 4 at the 13-yard line for the Eagles.
I couldn't exactly tell who it was, but one of the Pioneers did a really good job of reading that play and reading the snap count because he come flying through right as the ball was handed off.
Rashad Watson got in there along with Tarek Pons. Were able to get in. Rashad has really come on of late for this Pioneer football team. So 3rd down, can the Pioneers get off the field? Down 21-7 here at home. Solons is the feature back behind Johnson out of the under center. Johnson's going to keep it around the end and have the first down. They cannot. 20, 25, maybe the 26-yard line. But Justin Johnson gaining more and more confidence in his first career start at Carson-Newman.
Eagles doing a really good job selling the dive right there. Pioneers sold out to try to stop them up the middle, and the quarterback just keeps himself and gets a first down for the Eagles.
Eagles lead the football game 21-7. Leading receiver Carroll will line up to the far side. Pearson has a right back on the right. Ferguson, the left back, on the left, and they'll bring in an extra tight end to the left, and they'll run it to the left with Solons, and Solons maybe the line of scrimmage. The ball came out. The ball was still loose, and it looks as if the Eagles have fallen on the 3rd fumble of the day. They're able to recover it, and they have it for 2nd down and about 7 near the 30.
Yeah, I mean, the ball came out, and nobody really recognized it except one offensive lineman for the Eagles, and he was able to collapse and recover the football.
So the Eagles have fumbled 3 times on their first snap from scrimmage. Johnson lost it again on their touchdown drive, but got it back. And now Solons nearly lost it. New feature back into the contest. He'll get the carry right up the middle. He'll have it across the 30, near the 35 to the 36, and that'll move the chains for a 1st and 10. That's a big bruising feature back, and Tyler Curtis, a senior out of Lilburn, Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to take a look. It's definitely not your prototypical running back, 6'1", 228. He looks a whole lot bigger than that from here.
When you have Solons there, who's not 6'1". Bradley on the right wing back, a left wing back, and the Pioneers run blitz right up the middle. Johnson's going to keep it as he avoids that blitz. And he'll carry it to the 40-yard line, gain 4, bring up 2nd down and 6 as Ernest Johnson III there on the stop.
Johnson done a good job of running this offense there. Once again, he faked the handoff, kept it himself, and was picked up a little real estate.
So with the football, the Carson-Newman Eagles have the lead as well, 21-7. Keithan Washington is lined up as the left back for Carson-Newman. Ferguson on a jet sweep from the far side to the near side. He's going to be smothered. It hit once, twice, 3 times, and finally brought down at around the 44-yard line, where he'll gain 4 more yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Eagles.
And that definitely looked like old school Carson-Newman that we used to see. You'd see an ugly play that you think didn't develop for a whole lot, but they were able to get, 4 yards out of it nonetheless.
Darrell Smith and company, along with Corey Radcliffe, finally bringing him down. Pioneers play without Daquan Diston again for the 2nd consecutive game. Markel Pittman a corner, and the youngster Ian Humbert a corner. And whistles before this play can get off. And so the Eagles call the timeout. So 3:59 to play here in this opening half. Carson-Newman has led here in this entire second quarter after they scored 4 seconds in on a Justin Johnson quarterback sneak. The point was good. Pioneers then had the ball inside their 10. They converted a 1st down and were looking for their 2nd 1st down conversion on 3rd down. They had done that on an end around, but a penalty backed it up again, and Palazzo on 3rd and 15 is picked off, and Jimmy Olarende takes it for a pick 6. And then on the very next series for the Pioneers, they run a couple of plays, look to throw the football, and throw the football to another Eagle defender who returns it down inside the 5 to the 4. And one play, Jaden Solons takes it into the end zone for the touchdown for the Carson-Newman Eagles. So they scored 21 points and only 5 minutes had expired. Pioneers had great field position, but go 3 and out at midfield, punted it away, and this is the series after that punt. The Eagles had the football at the 7. They have it right now at the Eagle 44.
And that's what I was saying. You talk about those short drives. Obviously, the pick 6, the defense couldn't do anything about it. And then whenever you give up that super short field position, it makes it tough on your defense, and that's the difference in the game.
Handoff up the middle for a 1st down. Again, that is that big bruising back, Tyler Curtis, who will take it across the 45 to the 49-yard line. Took 3 Pioneers to bring him down. And it's another 1st and 10. It takes 3 offensive linemen to pick him up.
And we are coming in on about just a little over 3 minutes left here in the first half. Pioneers love nothing better just to get a stop. Don't do any more damage. Don't give up any more, trailing 21-7, because they do get the football back to start the second half, correct?
Pioneers, yes. Right up the middle, Jaden Solons, touchdown. He's not there yet, but no one's going to touch him. Jaden Solons, his 2nd of the game. It goes for 51 yards, and the Eagles poured it on the Pioneers here at Pioneer Field.
So much for not letting any more damage getting out of here, trailing only 21-7. One play, a couple of jukes in the middle of the field, and now the lead's extended.
Jaden Solons goes for 49, giving him now about 90 yards on the day, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. We'll call it about 80 yards on the day. With 3:19 to play, Bennett Smith has been very busy here in this second quarter. Snap, hold, kick. Good. Another break, another timeout. A new score. 3:19 to play in the first half. It's now Carson-Newman 28, Tusculum 7. Pioneer football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan, continues after this on the Pioneer Football on the Pioneer Sports Network. clock. Jaden Solin's second touchdown of the day goes for 51 yards to the end zone. Now the Eagles over 100 yards of offense at 28 points. The Pioneers with 89 yards of offense led this game 7-0 and played as good a game as you could play in that opening quarter, but they gave up the long drive. It's almost as if they can't give up here. Kick fielded by Irvin at the 4. 10, 15, 20, and he's up to about the 23-yard line. The Eagle special teams make the stop this time, and the Pioneer offense needs an answer. Is Carson-Newman feeling good? And I don't want to say it, but, you know, Joe, when you don't have a whole lot of success, you go up against a nationally ranked team that's had a whole lot of success. Teams that hang their head and give up, right now, this is the part of the game where that happens.
Yeah, and I'm trying to scratch my head and figure out exactly what the heck happened. What was the difference in this Tusculum football team in the first quarter versus the second quarter? It's like, did they think the game ended after 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's a good question. It was a good, long, sustained drive by the Eagles at the end of that first quarter, and they punched it in there in the second, but obviously mistakes. First down and 10 at the 23. Palazzo keeps it, rolls it, throws it, and drops it. Reginald Hunter had it, but that was also pretty good defense as well by the Eagles. Kendall Williams, who makes that breakup, and it's second down and 10.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to start seeing a whole lot more of open passing like that from the Pioneers, because you're down 3 touchdowns right here from not even halftime yet. So you're definitely playing catch up, and you can't just worry about little 3 and 4 yard runs up the middle from here on out.
Wade Lang in this offense trying to dial up something here at the end of the first half. This handoff is right up the middle at the 25 and then just ripped down. Again, these smaller running backs for the Pioneers, and this is a new running back for me, Kendrick Moore, a sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a converted defensive back, was thrown down like a rag doll, and it's third down and 6.
And literally, I'm pretty sure they had him up around the shoulder pads and just threw him, picked him up off his feet and slung him to the ground. Under normal circumstances, it'd probably be unnecessary roughness.
Probably. 2 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. That's Moreau. Stinnett back in the game. That's good to see. Palazzo, a check with me, looks over to the sideline. He's got Restall along with Celestin in the backfield for the Pioneer running game. Eagles drop back in coverage. They hand it off, but it didn't matter. That front 4 made a big play, and there's a potential face mask on the tackle that was made at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Livesey who got in there again. Could be wrong.
And maybe something, even if it's a penalty, that go the Pioneers' way and get a little fire started on them. 2 minutes, 13 seconds left in the second quarter.
It was Jesse Combs who got in there. So a break, I think, that's going to go the way of the Pioneers on a face mask. For the first time in the game, the Eagles are penalized, and it comes with 2:13 to play in the first half. 13 seconds before the 2-minute timeout here at Pioneer Field.
Hey, you know, crazier things could happen. Drive down, 2 minutes, score, get the football back, start the third quarter, score again, and all of a sudden we've got a football contest and what's more.
Longest rush of the game for the Pioneers, 14 yards. And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout as they wound the clock. So we'll take the break and return to Pioneer Field in 1 minute. 2 minutes left. It's Carson-Newman 28, Tusculum 7. Pioneer footballs driven by Gateway Ford Nissan continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network. 28-7, the Carson-Newman Eagles. 28 points here in this quarter. 21 of those points came in the opening 5 minutes of this quarter. First down and 10 for the Pioneers. With 2 minutes to play, Matthew Palazzo works out of the gun with backs flanked left and right. 3 wide out formation. It's 20 personnel. Snap is back. Palazzo play action pass. Looking across the middle, it's tipped. Christian Hicks got a piece of it, and it's incomplete. He had an open Stinnett running right across the middle of the field, and now it brings up second down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good thought on the play. Just the execution wasn't quite there as it was. If it had been a complete pass, it would have been an easy first down for the Pioneers, but that little bit of tip up front made the difference.
Possibly, Stinnett's still running, but Hicks made the play. From that linebacking position, he's made the play all year. He leads this team in tackles. 77 of them to come into this game today. Moreau will come in motion across the formation. They fake the give, and it's going to be Palazzo to keep. It's a good read. He'll take it across the 45 up to about the 47-yard line, gaining 5. It makes it third down and 5 with clock running at 1:40 to play here in the first half.
Pioneers got to get a first down here, keep this football, keep the drive going. They do have plenty of time to get it into the end zone, but you don't want to have to punch the football back away to Carson-Newman.
Longest pass play today for the Pioneers, 12 yards. Longest rush is 14 yards. Don't have that chunk play today like the Eagles do, a 51-yard rush by Jaden Solins. Snap is back on third down. Palazzo is going to throw it deep, looking for Stinnett, and he's covered pretty well, and the pass is overthrown, incomplete. It's fourth down coming up for the Pioneers, stopping the clock as well.
Yeah, and the Eagles do have 2 timeouts they can use once they get the football back.
So punting it away will be Stephon Forbes for the Pioneers. And Stephon, who has had a banner year, averaging 45.4 yards per punt, is averaging 42.5 yards today. And 39.8 net on the season for Stephon. Meeks back deep. He stands at his 10-yard line. Forbes standing just inside his 35 at the 32-yard line. Snap is back. It's a good one. Forbes gets away a wobbly spiral, driving Meeks back, and he'll field it at the 11-yard line. Good punt by Forbes, and the Eagles will take over. I get my compasses off. Instead of stepping out of bounds at the 11, he stepped out of bounds apparently at the 12. So first and 10 for the Eagles. They just went 93 yards on their previous possession for a score. Of course, 51 of that was by Jaden Solins on the touchdown scamper.
Yeah, just an easy run right up the middle. Once he broke through the offensive or the defensive line there of the Pioneers and got into a little bit of space in midfield, it was just a cakewalk. Nobody was going to touch him.
Justin Johnson is 1 of 3 passing, but he's also 6 for 21 rushing. Solins 10 of 82. Toss to Ferguson on the near side, trying to get the edge, and he just might get back to the line of scrimmage, as that's good pursuit by the Pioneer defensive front. Malachi Jim Lawson is there to help for the Pioneers.
Clock does continue to run, not out of bounds. Eagles not seem to be worried about their timeouts, but they do have 2 to use.
Well, why not? I mean, 28-7, they lead. Maybe they get a first down, they worry about it, but 45 seconds to play. They're taking their time as they break their huddle. Washington will line up as a left back. Meeks will line up as a tight end on the line of scrimmage. Bradley is the right back, and Jaden Solins, who can take it to the house at any part of the field. It's a run blitz, and they give it to Solins, who runs it right up the middle to about the 15-yard line to make it third down with 20 seconds to play. And very likely they won't even take another snap. The Pioneers will burn a timeout, though.
Not entirely sure why the Pioneers would, unless it's just to call a timeout to say, hey, don't get suckered if they snap the football. But I'm like you, I would have thought both teams would have been happy just to let the clock expire and get on into the locker room.
I don't mind the timeout. I mean, it's 16 seconds to play. It's third down. They don't get it. Then you call another timeout. Maybe you block a punt, or you return the punt for a touchdown. That's what you're playing for right here. You got the timeouts to burn. You can't take them home with you, so burn them here in the first half. Pioneers will play their final game next week. On the schedule, it says Wingate. Wingate is playing in the conference championship, and if this score holds, they'll be playing Carson-Newman. That's the only team they've lost to this year. That came in overtime early in the season, 31-28. So we will go to Catawba next Saturday night. a 6 o'clock start. It'll be dark when they kick it off there in Salisbury.
And even though rules and regulations stipulate, hey, all final day games are supposed to be wrapped up in the afternoon.
Before the conference championship game is played,
Yes.
which that time has not been set yet. So at Wingate, they like to play night football too. Wouldn't
Maybe
be
they'll
surprised
kick
if
off
they
at
play.
6:01 or something.
I wouldn't be surprised. False start's going to go against the Eagles, I think. Of course, the Pioneers may have induced them. It'll be interesting the conversation these officials are going to have because they're going to get together. And if there's a long conversation, this is going against the Pioneers. The defense may have forced.
Well, the long conversation should have been with the Catawba Athletic Department many months ago to realize not schedule other stuff on your football field when you know you're going to have a final home football game no matter what.
Yeah, you had the last football game at home. That was going to be the question. So there was movement by the Pioneers. They jumped. They did not get into the neutral zone. Did it call? This is what the rule I don't like. They kind of changed this a few years ago. There's a couple of players that are having a conversation about it too, rather heartily.
The offense can hard count and get the defense to jump, but the defense can't do something to get the offense to jump.
Right.
Of course.
Back them up 5 yards. This is a false start. They stood up. They didn't jump in the neutral zone. Tell us what's going on, Todd Boyd, after a conversation and you guys figuring out. Just give me an indication. Give me something.
The lead game on the defense, disconcerting motion, number 15. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Still go down.
They have simulated the snap, the defense. So, in other words, they said hut or what or check or something. But the umpire threw the flag at the offensive lineman that moved. He didn't throw the flag because of the simulated play count. Meanwhile, the Eagles are going to run a play, and it's going to be a first down. It was 3rd down and a yard, and the Eagles are going to get the first down, so no reason to call the timeout now for anybody unless the Eagles just want to stick it to the Pioneers and try to get a chunk play, and they'll say no. There's a lot of chirping going on here in this first half, and the Eagles have all the reason to chirp as they'll go to the locker room flying high with the 21-point lead. And still more chirping. Well, this second half's going to be fun. You don't want to go anywhere. Well, welcome to the rivalry, right?
Welcome to the rivalry. And, again, the end of the game might be interesting.
Ashley Ingram in his first season with the Carson-Newman Eagles. A longtime assistant, Billy Taylor, in his first season with the Pioneers. After a long career as an assistant coach, take their respective teams into the locker room. But it's Ashley Ingram's Carson-Newman Eagles who have the big lead against the Pioneers. Coming up here at halftime, it's a look at this week in Tusculum athletics. We'll talk about your first half stats, your first half plays of the game, and more when we come back here for the Pioneer Halftime Report. At halftime, it's 21st ranked Carson-Newman, 28. It's Tusculum, 7. Pioneer football is driven by Gateway Ford Nissan. It continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
South Atlantic Conference football scoreboard. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Barton 20, Limestone 16. 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Emory and Henry 26, UVAY 0. And with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, Wingate 14, Newberry 0. gentlemen, it's homecoming 2024, and it's time to meet your 2024 Tusculum University homecoming court. Representing the freshman class, Megan Ownby is a criminal justice major from Sevierville. Megan is part of the Tusculum cheerleading team. She is the daughter of Nikki and Billy Ownby. Dante Strickland is a criminal justice major from Knoxville and a member of the Tusculum football team. Dante is the son of Kristen McGrew and Steve Strickland. Addison Rishling is a biology major from Wonder Lake, Illinois, and a member of the women's soccer team. She is the daughter of Todd and Kendra Rishling. Cutter Womack is a business management major from Cleveland, Tennessee, and a member of the baseball team. He is the son of Greg and Mary Womack. Representing the sophomore class, Morgan Willis is an elementary education major from Northport, Florida. She is a member of the beach volleyball team and a student section leader. Morgan is the daughter of Katrina and Ryan Willis. Rio Little is a sports science major from Greenville. He is a member of the Tusculum football team, President's Society, Finance Club, and the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Rio is also a resident assistant and a work-study student for the campus store. He is the son of Maury and Ginger Little. Macy Snap is a sports science pre-athletic training major from Chucky. She is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Students Pray on Thursday Ministry, and Young Life Ministry. She is also a member of the women's volleyball team and is a resident assistant. Macy is the daughter of Jeremy and Wendy Snap. Jake Absher is a finance business major from Lenore, North Carolina. He is a member of the baseball team. Jake is the son of Larry and Nikki Absher. Representing the junior class, Sophia Richmond is a chemistry major with a minor in biology from Houston, Texas. She's a member of Tri Beta, Science Club, Women's Beach Volleyball Team, and Dr. Ashford's Photodynamic Chemotherapeutics Research Group. Sophia is the daughter of Tony and Rebecca Richmond. Carlos Turner is a marine biology major from St. Louis, Missouri, and is a member of the track and football teams. He is also active in local student organizations relative to marine biology and the Science Club. Carlos is the son of Carlos Watson and Tiffany Turner Watson. Allison Silvers is an elementary education major from Limestone. She is on the cheerleading team and is president of the education club. Allison is the daughter of Kenneth and Jennifer Silvers. Jerry Ricker is a sports science pre-physical therapy major from Kingsport. He is a resident assistant, student support services mentor, and a tutor. He is also captain of the men's cross-country team. Jerry is the son of Stephen Ricker. And now, representing the senior class, Alexis Burton is an accounting major with a minor in management from Springfield, Kentucky. Alexis is an administrator for the Tusculum Vita program and volunteers with the Tusculum men's basketball team. Alexis's future plans include getting her master's degree and moving to Nashville. She is the daughter of Carla and J.T. Burton. Jalen Hurt is a biology pre-med major from Memphis. Jalen is involved with Tri Beta, the Biological Honor Society, and is a part of the Tusculum football team. He also participates in campus ministry. Jalen's future plans include attending medical school at either Meharry Medical College or the University of Tennessee's Health Science Center to ultimately become a hematologist-oncologist. Jalen is the son of Gregory Hurt and Rochelle Crawford Hurt. Angela Sanchez is an accounting major from Sevierville. She is a resident assistant, pioneer peer, and mentor for student support services. She also participates in Tusculum's VITA program. Angela's future plans include getting her master's in business administration. Angela is the daughter of Kathy and Jorge Sanchez. Kenneth Silvers is a business management major from Limestone. He is a member of the Tusculum cheer team. His future plans include opening a home contracting business and marrying his fiancée. Kenneth is the son of Kenneth and Jennifer Silvers. Maria Torres Guevara is a communications major with a minor in marketing from Colombia, South America. Maria is president of the debate team, a mentor for student support services, tutor, Cornerstone PAL, and the social media marketing manager for student support services. Her future plans entail continuing with social media marketing in hopes of one day working with an NFL or NBA social media management team. Maria is the daughter of Danielle Cancelado and Lenny Guevara. David Evans is an accounting and economics major from Johnson City. He is a member of the Tusculum men's soccer team, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Students Pray on Thursdays Ministry, and is the founder and president of the Tusculum University Asset Investment Society. His future plans include obtaining his Certified Financial Planner certification and becoming a financial advisor. And now to announce the junior class Prince and Princess. The junior class Prince is Jerry Rickard. And the junior class princess is Allison Silvers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment we've all been waiting for, the crowning of the 2024 Homecoming King and Queen. Tusculum University President Dr. Scott Hummel and his wife, Mrs. Star Hummel, will crown this year's King and Queen. The 2024 Homecoming King is Mr. David Evans. And the 2024 Homecoming Queen is Angela Sanchez. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Homecoming King and Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for this year's Homecoming Court Representatives? And it's now time to announce the Chick-fil-A of Greenville fan of the game. Our Our Chick-fil-A fan of the game is Rajay Channer. For being named the Chick-fil-A fan of the game, Rajay receives a gift card from Chick-fil-A of Greenville, located on the Andrew Johnson bypass. Again, congratulations to Rajay Channer, our Chick-fil-A of Greenville fan of the game.
Halftime report, Carson-Newman leading Tusculum 28-7. Let's see how the teams got there from this first half. So the Carson-Newman Eagles would receive the kickoff to open up the football game. They would quickly go 3 and out as the Pioneers had the dive and the stretch figured out. And then the Eagles also tried to throw it over their first couple of series to no success. Now the Pioneers didn't have success on their first series, as they would be forced to punt the ball away. But then they get it back on their second series. Something started happening, such as Kamani Brown making a catch. The running game was going. Palazzo seemed to be honed in. They got advantage. They took advantage of some really good third down plays as well on that second series. And ultimately, it would lead to a third down and goal, where Matthew Palazzo would keep it and take it in from 3 yards.
Whichever faculty or staff member they like to see get a pie in the face. No surprise at all, the winner was President Scott Hummel. We direct your attention down there to the sideline as Dr. Hummel is about to
13 plays, 58 yards, 6:45 off the clock. The Pittman kick made it 7-0 with 3:05 to play. The ensuing kickoff was a good return for the Eagles, and a penalty flag for a face mask gave the Eagles great field position at the 50-yard line, and they would just matriculate their way down the field and get in from 8 yards on the opening play of the second quarter on a Justin Johnson keeper.
Let's have a round of applause for Dr. Scott Hummel for being such a good sport.
Yeah.
And let's have a round of applause.
Yards, 3 minutes off the clock. The Bennett Smith kick tied the game at 7. Well, it took just a few moments and a first down for the Pioneers as they were pinned inside their own 10-yard line on this particular drive, their next drive on the kickoff, because of another penalty against the Pioneers. They converted a third down, but then they faced their second third down of the series. And again, after converting on an end around by Corey Moreau, a holding penalty took it back to about the 15-yard line. And then on the ensuing play, Jimmy Olarinde stepped in front of a Matthew Palazzo pass. The third pick six of the season for an opposition, and Jimmy Olarinde intercepts a return, and the Bennett Smith kick made it 14-7. On the ensuing possession, it took just 52 seconds, but another third down for the Pioneers, and another pass that's going to be picked off by the Carson-Newman Eagles. That's taken down inside the 5 to the 3, and from there, Jaden Solons would do the rest. A play, 3 yards, 4 seconds. Bennett Smith had the point to make it 21-7. Pioneers again unable to move the football. They had great field position after a phenomenal kickoff return by A.J. Hill. But the Pioneers go basically 3 and out, so they would have to punt the ball away. They would punt that ball down inside the 5, and then it would take a Carson-Newman roll to the 7. So that's where the Eagles would take over 1st and 10. They'd just go 5 yards in a cloud of dust until they got to about midfield, and Jaden Solons would do the rest. Nine plays, 93 yards, 4:49 off the clock. The Bennett Smith kick to make it 28-7, which is where it is here in the first half. Your plays of the half. At halftime, it's Carson-Newman 28. It's Tusculum 7. Back with the second half, so stay with us here for Homecoming 2024. This is Pioneer Football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network. In half, the Pioneers will be receiving the kick. The Carson-Newman Eagles leading at 28-7. Brian Staten, Joe Bird. As we were talking about this during an injury in the first quarter, where Joe Bird honored before the contest of over 30 years of coverage of Pioneer athletics and helping me out in the booth, and I didn't get to finish the point. Joe's been one of my greatest friends, my first friend, since I came here to Greenville when I moved here. And our very first game was at Unaka, a football game that we went off to. And since then, it's just kind of been that. And it started out, Joe's like, you know what, I can help you do these games. I go to the games. I'd like to go to the games. And so, therefore, I'd like to be part of that. And then since he's left the newspaper, it's just been, I'm going to keep doing it because I just like hanging out with you. And we, that's really more what it's been. It's more just a I mean, for crying out loud, this has been my greatest friend since I've been here. So that's more or less of what it's been about since it's been there. So I'm going to hate that you're going, you know. I mean,
it's.
I'm not going to know how I'm going to act.
It's just it's part of life and transit. Everything you got to move along, and that's what we're getting ready to do. I'm sure everything will be fine here. You'll continue to do the superb job you do. Who knows? I might pop up from time to time.
Oh yeah. You know, we make that East Coast swing down there to Wingate and Catawba. I'll just say, hey, make that little 4 or 5 hour trek. You got this. I got to do it. The kickoff is going to get through A.J. Hill and get into the end zone for a touchback where the Pioneers are going to take over at the 25. All right, Joe, so we were blitzed. I don't know if we won the Blood Bowl or not, but we could have donated in that second quarter because of the bloodbath Carson-Newman gave. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and a big difference. Even you take a look, the 2 interceptions are what really hurt because they resulted in 14 points, one directly off the pick six and then one just a short field position a play later. Take those 2 away, it's a 14-7 game, and it's a dogfight here. So the Pioneers, the only thing you can do right now is just overcome that, and starting with this drive.
I think that's why they didn't announce it, because we had a few more units to add. Well, it's first down and 10. Let's see if we can reverse this. A rush up the middle, not so much on the very first play of the second half. And, again, it's one thing to see Carson-Newman get 5 yards in a cloud of dust. We're running this thing right up the middle for a yard. It's second down and 9.
And you talk about Carson-Newman, they will be playing for the South Atlantic Conference Championship next Saturday at Wingate. Those scores, not a whole lot changed. Number 24, Wingate leads Newberry 14-0. Emory and Henry 26-0 over UVA Wise, and Barton 20-16 at Limestone.
That's an interesting score there. Jackson Roper is going to get the football. He is going to be lifted up off of his feet. He is going to be suplexed onto the turf, which is against the rules of football. But Roper gets up and runs off the field as he is absolutely planted in a move that would make anybody at WWE proud.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. I'm not sure what is your line for calling unnecessary roughness or just, I mean.
That.
Apparently not today.
Yeah.
Apparently that's legal.
3rd down, 6 from the 29-yard line for the Pioneers. Got to convert. Got to get feeling good about the offense once again. They've been stymied. This pass is tipped. It would have been incomplete anyway. Hunter was not ready, and it's incomplete, and it's 4th down coming up.
This game started getting chippy at the end of the second quarter. It was chippy whenever they were trying to get off at halftime, and nothing has changed, and it's only gotten worse just right there. So it's going to be an interesting last 2 quarters here in the home finale today.
So 4th down coming up. We'll see Stephon Forbes back on the field for the 4th time today for the Pioneers, just over 42-yard average. Meeks standing at the 25-yard line. Snap is back, it's low. Forbes gets it and then drives one. Meeks drifting back and fields it at the 19, 20, 25, 30, 35, and he'll take it up to the 37-yard line. It's a good return by Meeks as Forbes, as he does so often, outkicks his coverage, but that time the Pioneers could get down there to cover Meeks. It's 1st and 10 Eagles.
I mean, and that was just a great recovery by Forbes because it wasn't your just stand there and launch a howitzer out, high arcing ball. He kind of was on the run whenever he booted it downfield and still got a heck of a lot of distance out of it.
So the Eagles take over 1st and 10 on the Justin Johnson in his first start of his Eagle career. Not exactly sure what's going on with Zane Whitson. Didn't hear otherwise about why he did not start today. So Johnson will come under center. Ferguson will go in motion. They will hand it off to Solons right up the middle, left side. He's got daylight 45, 50, 40, 30. What, are we just going to escort him? And finally force him out of bounds after we ran shoulder to shoulder with him to the Walmart distribution scoring zone to the 20. Solons over 100 yards on the day en route to potentially becoming yet another Offensive Player of the Week candidate.
You're right. I mean, it was 20 yards of at least escorting right down the field shoulder to shoulder instead of like just trying to bump him or do something.
So after the punt by Forbes that went for 52 yards, Meeks' 19-yard return set up the Eagles with decent field position and now fabulous field position from the Pioneer 20-yard line. Out of that wing tee set, 2 wingbacks. And this will be Johnson. He's going to keep it, running it right up the middle. And finally, Ernest Johnson III will bring him down inside the 15, near the 13-yard line for a gain of 7, where it's 2nd down and 3.
And Johnson just doing a good power run right up the middle. He had defensive players hanging off the back of him, and he was still able to pick up 3 or 4 more yards.
Pioneers had 27 seniors walk today, be introduced, and one of them was Ernest Johnson III, who has, once again, been one of the leading tacklers over the last 3 years for this Pioneer team, leading them today. He's on a run blitz right now, and Solons is going to get away from him for just a second, but then he's wrapped up and brought down after a short gain of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and it's going to bring up 3rd down about a yard for the Eagles.
Yeah, third and not very much. Pioneers read that play, but unfortunately they've given up too much on 1st down, so now it's 3rd and easy for the Eagles.
Eagles lead at 28-7. This is their first series of the second half. And it was Jaden Solons who went for 42 yards on the first play from scrimmage. And now Solons at 139 yards rushing today, averaging 10.7 yards per carry. 3rd down and a yard. And the handoff is to Solons, and Solons will likely have that yard. He's going to be forced backwards. And in there on the stop is Trey Alston, also known as David. And it should be 1st and goal at the 10.
Yeah, that was spot ball right at the 10. That gives the Eagles 1st and goal. It got just enough of what they needed to get a fresh set of downs looking at the goal line.
So 11 and a half to play here in this 3rd quarter of action. The Eagles who huddle, Pioneers huddle. Again, that's kind of a lost art in college football, huddling. And then breaking the huddle, coming to the line of scrimmage. Leading receiver Carroll will come to the near side for the Eagles. The 2 wingbacks, Bradley right side, Ferguson left side. Solons, who has done a masterful job on offense, will be the feature back. They'll pitch it late to Bradley, who has problems with the pitch. Finally corralled it and goes out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, which is the 10. It's 2nd and goal from there.
He bobbled 2 or 3 times, was able to hold on to it just as when Pioneers were making contact there, trying to force some sort of turnover.
Bradley is the second leading rusher at 395 yards. Just a stark difference in a Pioneer leading rusher. He's the second leading rusher, and the leading Pioneer didn't even have that. Nor did he have as much as the third leading rusher for the Eagles. And before this play can get underway with Aiden Dark into the backfield, it stopped. And usually if it's stopped, it's encroachment by the Pioneers who contacted the offensive line, or it's movement by the Eagles.
I'm thinking it's going to be a false start against the Eagles because they didn't have people get moving.
Yeah, so a false start going against the Eagles. Just their second penalty of the game. And their first penalty didn't happen until 3 minutes to play in the first half, and that was a face mask, which gave the Pioneers a first down, which they were unable to do much with after. So, second down and goal at the 15 for the Eagles, who lead the game 28-7. Johnson is under center. He's going to run a reverse option to Meeks. Meeks with daylight at the 10, 5, and he'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Eagles. Touchdown, Cade Meeks on the reverse pitch from 15 yards.
Yeah, it's just a well-executed play by Carson-Newman there to pad this score and just keep piling it on, getting ready to go into that conference championship game next Saturday.
Markel Pittman was the man taking Meeks, and he got kind of covered up in some of the massive humanity. And instead of just continuing to run at Meeks, he decided to stop, and he blocked himself, or he probably makes the play at the 10. But he's not, and we're talking about an extra point, and Bennett Smith is out for the 5th time. Snap, hold, kick, up, and good. And we go to a break with a new score. Carson-Newman 35, it's Tusculum 7. Pioneer football is driven by Gateway Ford Nissan. Continues after this here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
South Atlantic Conference football scoreboard. 5:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Limestone 33, Barton 26. At halftime, Emory and Henry 27, UVAY 6. And at halftime, number 24, Wingate 21, Newberry 0.
Six plays, 62 yards, 3:12 off of the clock. A couple of first downs. Jaden Solon's got the drive off to a really good start on a 42-yard rush. And then finishing it off is Cade Meeks on an end-around reverse pitch. The point after makes it 35-7.
Brian, scoring updates. 5 minutes, 21 seconds left in the contest. Limestone has come back taking the lead at home over Barton. The Saints lead that game 33-26. At halftime in Emory, Virginia, the Wasps lead UVAY's 27-6. And halftime in Wingate, the Bulldogs will be playing for the conference championship next Saturday. They lead Newberry 21-0.
They'll host these Carson-Newman Eagles if the score remains the way it is right now, which it probably won't.
But not in the right way.
Kickoff is fielded by Irvin at the 3, and he is just swarmed under by a sea of white jerseys, led by Major Williams, who's had a big game today defensively as well. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. They will take over inside their 20-yard line, and they have had very little going offensively since the first quarter.
Yeah, you talk about Major Williams. He does just such a good job for the Eagles. He's got speed to spare getting down the field, and I hate to say it, but each of the kickoff returns for the Pioneers, and there's been several of them today, it's a cookie-cutter pattern. You're not doing anything different. The Eagles have kind of picked up on where you're going, so they just get personnel over there. That's why they've gotten progressively worse.
Maybe you should try to field it on the far side, run to the near side, reverse to the middle of the field, and then take off. Palazzo rolls out and pitches it complete. This will be Reginald Hunter for a rare first down for the Pioneers to the 29-yard line, even though he was laying across the 30 with the football. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 29.
Yeah, solid play there for Palazzo. Just tossed the ball right out to Hunter. Had one guy to beat, and he actually hit him and pushed him back to get the first down.
Pioneers break the huddle. Garrett Priest leads the offensive line to the line of scrimmage for the Pioneers. That has been banged up much of the year. That inverted bone out of the gun. Snap will be back for Palazzo, but it'll be a play-action pass to the near side. Kamani Brown has it at the 40 for another first down, as it'll be forced out of bounds there by Jackson Ward. It'll move the chains, 1st and 10 across the 40 to the 42-yard line.
2 plays, 2 passes, 2 first downs for the Pioneers, but when you're already trailing 35-7 here in the third quarter, I'd like to see some of that earlier.
Everybody was standing around as if there was a penalty flag down. I don't think the Pioneers believed they'd had success with 2 first downs consecutively on the play.
Yeah, they just like, well, there's bound to be a penalty somewhere. Where is it?
It didn't happen. So that was good. Chris Sweeney, the left tackle today. Adrian Gum, the left guard. Gabe McLand, the right guard. Vernon Holland, the right tackle. And Garrett Priest leading the offensive line back out. Snap is back. This will be a handoff, and Otasui Dion will cross the 45 to the 50 into Eagle territory as he'll take it to about the 49, maybe the 48, depends on the spot. And they'll say 2nd down and a yard.
Yeah, it's not even 2nd and a yard, just 2nd down, and doesn't matter of inches almost. Well, a little bit further than I thought, but still 2nd down and a whole lot of manageable. Pioneers just keep moving.
Stinnett along with Brown to the far side, Moreau to the near side, Reginald Hunter, the tight end, or an H-back on the left. Dion in the backfield. Palazzo is going to fake it to him and keep it and go sliding down at the 45-yard line where he started his slide. And that's moving the chains. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers, their best offensive series since the opening quarter.
Yeah, so again, that second quarter was just a head scratcher, and we know the offense, they did so well in the first quarter and then sputtered in the second, and the defense really didn't have much of a chance to stop Carson-Newman in the second quarter just because of the bad field position they were given.
Had a chance here to start this second half. They couldn't do it, and the Eagles have added to their lead at 35-7. Here's Palazzo passing to the flat right side, and the extension of a running play to Stinnett, who is taken down rudely after a 3-yard gain to make it 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, solid tackle there by Carson-Newman. Actually had Stinnett by his feet and just upended him, jerked him down to the turf.
Major Williams there on that stop once again. He got some help from Mekhi Brown. It'll be Dion on the left shoulder. And again, the new running back today is Kendrick Moore. New guy I've had to learn. Here it is, the penultimate game of the year, and I'm learning new guys. Palazzo will run the pitch to the right side to Moore. He pitches it late at the 40, and Moore takes it to the 39-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Pioneers after a gain of about 3 more.
Had a couple solid plays there to start this drive to move down into Eagle territory, but now they've kind of given up a little bit, not getting the big plays.
JoJo Restall, who led the team in rushing last week, has been a non-factor today. He had 172 yards last week. I don't know that he's touched it today.
I don't think we've called his name at all.
He's out there now. JoJo Restall on the left shoulder of Palazzo on 3rd down and 4. Reginald Hunter, the H-back to the right side. This is Restall, and Restall is going to fight his way down near the first down marker. I think he'll be just shy of it, just at the 36-yard line, so it's 4th down, about a yard to go.
Got to go for it here if you're the Pioneers. Got nothing else really to lose. You're already trailing, as we said, 35-7, coming under 7 minutes left in the third quarter, so go for it. See if you pick up the yard and get a new set of downs.
So 4th down and a yard. And the Pioneers, with that offense out there, trailing 35-7, send Moreau to the far side, Stinnett to the near side with Kamani Brown. Restall stays in the backfield with Palazzo. He'll move Hunter from the left back to the right back, just behind the tackle on that right side. Restall gets the snap, and he had no chance. He's brought down in the backfield by Mekhi Brown for a loss of 3. And it's 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the 40.
Well, that was absolutely well read by Carson-Newman. They knew what was up before the Pioneers even had the ball handed off.
Like a hot knife through butter. And the Carson-Newman Eagles make the play and make the stop. With 6:09 to play here in the third quarter, the Eagle offense will be back out, leading the game 35-7. As Carson-Newman looking to end a 3-game losing skid to the Pioneers, which is something quite remarkable in itself.
Yeah, last Carson-Newman win, 49-13 in Jefferson City in 2019.
Last time they won here in Greenville was also homecoming, 2014, a 55-35 win. The Pioneers put up 35 points in the second quarter alone on that day. First play handoff is for no gain right at the 40-yard line. And so Justin Johnson and the Eagle offense back out there. That last handoff for Solons goes for no gain. So good job by the defensive front for the Pioneers.
Don't think the 35 points are in the cards for the Pioneers here this afternoon. Carson-Newman already there leading 35-7. There's coming down about 5.5 minutes to go in this quarter.
Well, it is obviously doable. I mean, the Eagles put up 21 points in 5 minutes. Second down and 10 for the Eagles. This will be Johnson. He'll keep it, pitch it late to the outside. Ferguson, I should say, the Eagle running back who takes it outside, is taken down by Radcliffe and trying to pick up the new running back in the contest for the Eagles. That looks like Nate Adebayo. Adebayo out of Maryville, Tennessee from South Doyle High School. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
See if you can get a stop here for the Pioneers and then, get the football back. Hopefully the offense can pick up what it was doing at the start of their last drive, not at the end of it.
Eagles are 4 of 6 on 3rd down. The only time they've been stopped on 3rd down were the first 2 series of this football game. They have not been stopped since. Johnson to pass, looking across the middle, and he throws it high and incomplete. There are no flags. It is 4th down.
You did have the wide receiver stumbling there a little bit, but that was just because he was reaching out trying to get the football where it was thrown so far out in front of him. No contact anywhere, no pass interference, no completions, and bringing on the punt team.
Carroll, who leads the team in receiving, has the 1 reception today for 10 yards. He's averaging 16.1 yards on the season. Meeks, the second leading receiver, at 17.8 yards per reception. The Eagles, who lead the South Atlantic Conference in receptions, or I should say in receiving yards per catch. Well, when you run the ball as effectively. Since the first quarter, this is the first time that we have seen the Eagle punt team. They're going to drive Terry back inside the 10 at the 9. Terry hesitates, makes a couple of guys miss, now comes near side at the 15. Gets another block at the 20. Terry stumbles, 25-30, still on his feet at the 40. Terry spins to the 45, and he'll take it up to the 48-yard line before he's finally stopped. And the most exciting plays of this football game have been the return team by the Pioneer special teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's twice now on returns that the Pioneers really had one man to beat, or it would have been taken back to the house. It was still fun to watch, though.
Terry has been pretty good. He's been back there over the last 3 games. Of course, Carlton Terry comes to us from Wofford, the 6-foot junior. And it's 1st down and 10 at the Pioneer 48. And Matthew Palazzo and the offense back out there to go at it again with 4:30 to play here in this third quarter for our 3rd series of the game. Jalen Hunt on the right shoulder of Palazzo, who works out of the gun. Tight end is set on the left side. Palazzo's going to keep it, pull it, and pass it to Hunter for a crossing pattern. He hit some people himself as he takes it to the Eagle 40-yard line and pick up 13 yards on the play, make it 12, and it's going to be 1st and 10 to the Eagle 40.
A great job by Hunter right there. I mean, he was sort of on a suicide mission the way the football was delivered to him right in the crowd of Carson-Newman defenders. He took the licks and held on to the football for the first.
It's the type of impact in the game, though, that I thought Reginald Hunter would have all year. It's just he's not been utilized as much, or we just haven't found him. Either way, he's had a big day today. He's had a career day today. 1st down and 10 for the Pioneers from the 40-yard line where they lost the ball in their last series on downs. Palazzo to pass, looking near side and sliding to a catch. On a pass thrown behind him is Kamani Showtime Brown inside the 35 to the 34. It's 2nd and 4.
I couldn't tell whether the ball skipped to him or if he was able to get his arms under it. He did a good job of scooping it up and getting the yardage.
They rule it at the 35. I've been off by a yard all day. Again, my compass is off. 2nd down and 5 for the Pioneers. It looks like he had the ball beyond the 35 at the end of the game. Into the contest will come Jackson Roper. He's on the left shoulder of Palazzo. He's like, don't give it to me, man. I got suplexed earlier. The handoff will go to Hunt, who will take it to the 31 maybe, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and a yard potentially.
Yeah, right now, just continue to keep doing what you're doing. See if you can't get this other yard. Obviously, we're not going to see any kind of punt unit on for the Pioneers at this point, but I don't even want to talk about that. Let's get the first down.
So 35-7 Eagles. They've scored 35 unanswered. Roper on the right shoulder, Hunt on the left shoulder, Palazzo out of the gun. Handoff is to Roper, and he's like, quit giving me the ball. 3rd down and a yard, and for 2 consecutive series, we've lost a yard with a yard to go, and it's going to be a loss of 2, and it's 4th down and 3.
Yeah, and I don't know what the Pioneers are tipping off, letting Carson-Newman know what they're going to do, but on those plays, it's just both times the Eagles have sniffed it out right from the start.
It's confusing because you've got 2 guys coming from either end, and they're meeting as about the time Palazzo is letting it go in the mesh point. And there's no chance for the running back. 4th down and 3. Otasowie Dion on the right shoulder, 2 wide outs to the far side. Dion nowhere to go. It's another loss. And back at the 35-yard line, it's another turnover on downs. And again, it's just confusing. You can't be getting beat that badly up front.
No, I mean, they have to be showing something, you would think, that Carson-Newman is picking up on to know what they're going to do there, because it's like almost like you were giving the Eagles a play. Hey, we're going to run right here.
Eagles offense back onto the field, leading at 35-7. Pioneers have 163 yards of offense. I don't think that counts that last play for a loss. The Eagles at 214 yards. Pioneers have thrown for 89, the Eagles for 10. Johnson will come under center for Carson-Newman. Hands it off. This is the dive up the middle to Solons. Solons breaking it to the 50, to the 45, and he's down to the Pioneer 43-yard line. And Hubbard saves a touchdown for the Pioneers, and it's 1st and 10 Carson-Newman to the Pioneer 38-yard line.
Yeah, that would have been one more cut for Solons away from just another easy march into the end zone. Fortunately, the Pioneers there were able to try to make some sort of stop.
Told you my compass was off all day. It's at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Pioneers showing run blitz as Ernest Johnson stepping up into the gap on that right side. And he's going to get back there, and he's going to bring down Johnson. And I guess by the face mask?
They're going to say he did. He definitely did have his hand up near the face.
I know he got back there. He beat the center. I mean, basically beat the snap to the quarterback, who is under center. He timed it brilliantly. And then he had, for sure, a grab of the shoulder. I don't think he grabbed the face mask unless he caught the side of it. And again, from the side and through the binoculars, he was definitely around the face. But it's 15 yards.
Gives the Eagles ball 1st and 10 at the Pioneer 28.
35-7 Eagles. Solons, who has pretty much gone the entire way as the feature back, will get the handoff, and he'll take it up, cut outside at the 20, 15-10, and there is a flag down all the way back at the 34, thrown by the referee, who has likely seen something about the point where Solons cut to daylight. There was probably a reason he was able to cut to daylight freely. A rare penalty likely that's going against Carson-Newman. So an illegal shift with 2 men moving at the same time. And that was Keithan Washington, who went off in motion. And that meant that somebody else was at least maybe adjusting or trying to come set on the offensive line. I didn't see an offensive lineman move. So 1st down and 15. Move it back to the 33-yard line. How that wing tee set. Solons is the feature back. Bradley will go in motion. Solons will get the handoff, make a couple of guys miss. There's another flag that's down. Solons will take it to the 30. Malachi Jim Lawson holds him up with TJ Gengosian.
Yeah, this was going to be offsides against the Pioneers. You had one of the guys showing blitz and didn't get himself quite pulled back enough, I don't think.
They let the play go, which either is going to be against the Pioneers. Billy Taylor is out to hear part of the conversation where we have huddled for penalty flags all day long. Do they have microphones? Do we have to huddle? Can you just talk instead of walking around? Can we just talk and use the microphones? And now another flag.
So that one is going to be some sort of dead ball and sportsmanlike conduct penalty, and depend on who it's going to be against. And obviously it's going to be against the Pioneers.
I don't know what the first infraction is. Well, frustration, obviously. Ernest Johnson III is going to come out of the game. So what's the first foul? Okay, it took us 3 minutes to figure out we had offsides. And frustration for Ernest Johnson.
Yeah, you come across through his helmet. Not really the fault of his own team or the Tusculum equipment there.
Big day for him. He's already had 8 tackles. Darrell Smith with 7. Malachi Jim Lawson also with 8 tackles on the day. So half the distance to the goal after the unsportsmanlike, his first of the game, and likely his last, inside the 20 to the 14-yard line. 35-7 Carson-Newman as we return to action. Bradley will go in motion. They'll hand it off to him. He bobbles the handoff and the exchange, and he's going to be taken down right at the line of scrimmage by Aiden Dark of the Pioneers. So it's an alignment assignment game, as you hear. And before I finish that, I'll do that in the 4th as we have reached the end of the 3rd, mercifully enough. At the end of 3 quarters, it's 21st ranked Carson-Newman 35. It's Tusculum 7. Back with the final 15 after this as you listen to Pioneer Football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network. Newman Eagles lead the Pioneers. Tusculum 160 yards of offense. The Eagles with 236 yards of offense today. Pioneers have been penalized 8 times for 87 yards. The Eagles 3 for 25. So the Eagles have it. Go the right to left across your radio dial, your TV screen, however you may be viewing it. Bradley is going to be lined up as the right wing. And on the left wing is Ferguson. Solons is the feature back behind Justin Johnson, who's gone the entire way at quarterback. Johnson to pass, looking across the middle, back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown Eagles. Touchdown Cade Meeks as he gets it from 14 from Johnson. There is a flag on the play at about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, no indication yet what the penalty is going to be. It's just back at the end zone, right at the post. Carson-Newman threw the ball up, jumped up to get it, come down in the end zone.
So they're going to call a penalty around the 14, which is the line of scrimmage. They got a block below the waist. That's a no-no. You could call that every time against a lot of offensive lines, but especially against Carson. I'm not saying they're doing it dirty. It's just the nature of the beast in their offense that they run. You could basically call it every time.
Brian, scoring updates. It's gone final, and Gaffney Limestone defeats Barton 40-26. Halftime at Wingate, the Bulldogs lead the Wolves 21-0. Emory and Henry pulling away from UVA Wise at home, leading the Highland Cavaliers 41-6, and that game is in the third quarter.
That's a huge rivalry game. 35-7, Eagles with the lead, facing second down and 25 here. This is going to be a run right up the middle, breaking tackles at the 20, 10, 5, house. Tyler Curtis touching pay dirt from 25.
Just continue to keep piling on, but you really can't fault the Eagles if the Pioneers aren't stopping them. What do you expect Carson-Newman to do?
Curtis's fourth rushing touchdown, his longest rush of the year. He's going over the sidelines and says, "Where's the oxygen?" And it comes 15 seconds into this fourth quarter, and the Eagles have put up their 41st point. Bennett Smith to add the point after for the Eagles. Snap, hold, kick is low, but driven good. Back in 30 seconds. New score. It's Carson-Newman 42. It's Tusculum 7. 14:45 to play here from Pioneer Field. As you listen to Pioneer Football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan here on the Pioneer Sports Network. $65 yards, just 2 minutes and 4 seconds off of the clock. Penalties, 2 of them accepted for 20 yards, 34 yards, I should say. A couple of first downs. Tyler Curtis taking it 25 yards into the end zone after the penalty on the Eagles. After an apparent touchdown was wiped off the board, he made sure that touchdown stayed on the board. Tyler Curtis, 3 carries, 42 yards, and his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. 42-7, our score. The Carson-Newman Eagles have scored 42 unanswered against the Pioneers here on Homecoming 2024. Kicking it away is Seibert. Seibert's kick is fielded at the 5 by A.J. Hill. Near side return, 15-20, and up to the 25-yard line before taken down there rather rudely. And it's a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Brian, and the other games we haven't mentioned yet, 4 o'clock kickoff. Mars Hill is at Anderson today, kicking off at 6 p.m. Lenore Ryan at Catawba, where we will be next Saturday at 6 o'clock.
6 p.m. kickoff there. We follow the highly anticipated band competitions that's going on there.
I can't wait.
So we'll be doing that. We can tailgate during the band competitions. Second time the Pioneer football team and you and I have been to Catawba this year.
I didn't go to the other one.
Yeah, we've been. Yeah, we've been there.
What game did I know?
It was the Lenore Ryan game.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were there. Timeouts asked for. Joe and I will discuss it when we come back. 14:38 to play, back in 30 seconds. The Carson-Newman Eagles lead the Pioneers 42-7.
And at halftime, Wingate 21, Newberry 0. Tusculum University men's basketball scoreboard at halftime. It's Tusculum 38, Shawan 36.
Pioneers burn a timeout here as Joe and we didn't go to Mars Hill.
We didn't go to Mars Hill.
Didn't go to Mars
I knew I didn't go somewhere.
But a Joe did go to Mars Hill. It was the Jim and Joe show.
There we go.
Handoff for a couple breaking. Oh, my goodness. Another suplex as Dion is tackled. And then a little extra afterwards as Mekhi Brown flexing his muscle to the 30. I guess Ernest Johnson III can't open his mouth, but everybody else can.
Yeah, can just continue to jaw and tog and slam people to the ground like it's a wrestling match.
Wow, that was wow. 2nd down and 4, they say, from across the 30 at the 31. Palazzo with the football, hands it off. And there's not much, and another just slam to the turf. That is the 3rd of the game, and finally a penalty has been thrown here. And that was just throwing Joseph Goho to the turf on his shoulder. And this will be 15 yards, and now Carson-Newman's looking over the side. What'd we do?
I mean, quite honestly, the best thing about that play is that the Pioneers kept their composure, because that would have been so easy for, a melee to ensue, because you see one of your teammates get done like that, and the Pioneers just step back and let the officials sort it out.
So there's the personal foul, unnecessary roughness penalty for 15 yards. After they say, I think the key phrase is, after forward progress was stopped. I can promise you the other 2 times that somebody has been slammed, forward progress was stopped.
Yes, very much so. But finally did get the call there. It was well warranted.
All right, so 1st down and 10 via penalty. Pioneer offense a bit anemic after setting a record of 461 yards last week against UVA Wise. They have not had any chunk plays today. And this pass across the middle, and the Eagles have just made every single play since the first quarter. Is Jalen Hunt nowhere to go on the dump-off on the screen. That's complete for 0 yards.
I mean, and that is exactly what it was. Palazzo had no choice but just to dump the ball right over the middle there into nothing to get rid of it to protect himself, and went for naught.
Aside from a kickoff return or a punt return, we have had no offensive plays go over 20 yards today. 2nd down and 10, 13 minutes to play in this one. 42-7, Carson-Newman. Handoff up the middle, and this is Moore. 50, 45, 40, and he'll take it down to the 35. And there's a 20-yard play as the Pioneers get a 1st and 10 by the converted defensive back, Kendrick Moore.
Okay, yeah, let's get some more of that. A little bit too little too late here with 12 and a half minutes to go in the football game, but still, it's nice to see this Tusculum team continue to fight.
1st and 10 to the 35. Pioneers have been to the Eagle, inside the Eagle 40. 2 other times so far in this second half, but they have turned it over on downs each of the other 2 times. Palazzo works out of the gun. Snap is back. Play action pass, rolls the pocket near side. He's got really nowhere to throw to as the Eagles had that covered up. 3 guys in the route, and nobody was open.
And I mean, it wasn't, even if it was a completed pass, it wasn't going very much at all, because it was just not even 5 yards downfield.
So 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Pioneers at the Eagle 35. Kendrick Moore, his longest rush of his career. It's the first time we've called his name all year in this game. And I didn't know that we would hear some kids who had been maybe redshirted and things like that with a chance to play here in the final 4 games of the season. But, we have used a bevy of running backs all season long. 2nd down and 10. A.J. Hill in motion to the far side. Palazzo pass, and it's dropped. Looking for Reginald Hunter, a sure-handed tight end who was unable to bring it in around the 30-yard line, and it will bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Pioneers.
Yeah, 3rd and 10, ball still on the 35-yard line. The Pioneers, you get some decent plays, you get the penalty, you get moved down here, and then it just stalls out on you again.
Kamani Brown has been the biggest threat today. 4 catches for 41 yards, a 10.3-yard average. We just haven't been able to find him consistently enough. And the Eagle passing attack has been non-existent. Just 1 reception on the day. Of course, they don't need it when you're running like they're running today. 3rd down and 10 for the Pioneers at the Eagle 35. Palazzo play action to pass. Looking to the near side. It's great coverage. Tusculum looking for a flag, but Jackson Ward with great coverage on Ashton Higgins, and it's 4th down and 10.
Yeah, that one could have gone either way. It didn't go the Pioneers' way, so now they've got to do something on 4th down.
So with 12 minutes to play in the football game, Pioneers faced yet another 4th down. The other two was with it less than a yard, basically, and they were turned away each time. So the Pioneer offense breaks the huddle. Moreau to the near side, Stinnett and Brown to the far side. Hunter, the tight end, is set to the slot to the near side. 3 seconds to get the playoff. Palazzo on 4th down and 10 gets the snap. He's blitzed. He throws it complete to Moreau, a crossing pattern inside the 25. He'll take it to the 23-yard line and move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
That was a little bit good work there. Moreau, the hero of the Pioneers' lone win here with the longest play in school history back a few weeks ago, and he was able to get a 1st down for Tusculum today.
In his final game for the Pioneers, I thought it was interesting. He comes out of Monk's Corner where they play 8-on-8 football.
Huh.
Yeah. The former walk-on, Corey Moreau. 1st down and 10 for the Pioneers. They have it inside the 25, the furthest penetration against Carson-Newman's defense of the game. Here's Jalen Hunt up the middle. He's broken it at the 20. At the 10, he's on his feet inside the 10, down to the 7 as he's into the Walmart distribution scoring zone here in the second half. The Pioneers have it 1st and goal.
Just a good churning run there to keep things going. Nothing fancy, right up the middle. Slipped a couple tackles, kept himself moving, and got the 1st down.
Pioneers will go fast. There's too many men on the field for Carson-Newman, and the ball is ducked underneath inside the 5, and they'll get 5 yards with too many men on the field for the Eagles, who are just kind of casually running off the field.
Yeah, not really paying attention to what was going on, trying to do substitutions in there, and the Pioneers caught them with 12 guys out there.
Late in the day here on this Saturday, and early mid-fall, but, you know, as far as the time change is concerned, the shadows hit differently here. So from the 7, the Pioneers will take the penalty for too many men and keep the down. So too many men, half the distance, takes it inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, I can tell you this, the sun hasn't been enjoyable today, but it's nothing as brutal as what we did last week at UVA was.
I mean, I had a headache after that one. It pounded you. Of course, I couldn't ever turn to my right. I kept hitting the girl running the replay camera. You just like, you try to turn to the right and see what was going on, you just boom. This little toss to the left side to Jalen Hunt. He'll be into the end zone. Touchdown Pioneers. Touchdown Jalen Hunt, scoring from 4 yards, and the Pioneers finally answer the Eagles.
Yeah, first trip to the end zone since the opening drive, I guess it was, for the Pioneers, all the way back in the first quarter.
42 unanswered by the Eagles, finally answered by Jalen Hunt for the Pioneers as he gets his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Pittman to add the point, Palazzo to hold it. Snap, kick is like a top and it's through. I think it was blocked. Well, or not, or somebody's learned something from Camacho on how to hit that ball and make it spin like a top.
Yeah.
But it goes through, Tim.
Went through.
I love watching that pregame. When we come back, kickoff, new score. It's now Carson-Newman 42. It's Tusculum 14. 10:44 left. This is Pioneer Football, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the 20-yard line on the west side of the field. Making their way out, it's the Tusculum University dance team.
3:54 off the clock, a key fourth down conversion to Corey Moreau on the drive, and then Jalen Hunt taking it into the end zone from 4 yards away, capping the drive for the Pioneers, who are finally on the board here in the fourth quarter. Pittman's kick was just good after it was slightly deflected. But Carson-Newman still leads 42-14. Last year it was a good game in Jefferson City, 27-21. 2 years ago, 34-6 win for the Pioneers. And then 3 years ago, 48-13. Prior to that, Carson-Newman dominated in Jefferson City, 49-13. So on par for that type of a score line before this day is over with. Baltzel to kick it away. Again, his final home game. 27 seniors walking. And the fair catch. Oh, he asked for a fair catch. I guess he did not. The officials did. I saw him do that.
I saw him signal for a fair catch.
Yeah, I saw that. But the official did not, and he stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And if they didn't see it, they can't give it to him and just trust by what the sideline was saying. I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question it was a wave for a fair catch.
They didn't see it. They can't talk. What are they discussing? They didn't see it.
And I don't know why they didn't, because it was as clear as could be.
And if they don't, they're moving the ball to the 25. There's no way they saw it. They ruled it at the 4. They have been influenced by the Carson-Newman sideline. That's pitiful. The ruling is a fair catch. That's one of those things where they say replay assistance. They got replay assistance.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as visible as a fair catch. I think that's what he was doing. It also looked like he may have been trying to keep his balance. But either way. 1st and 10 at the 25 for the Eagles. New quarterback is into the game. And he's going to keep it to this near side. I believe that is the guy we thought was going to start. That's Zane Whitson. So obviously nothing was wrong with Zane Whitson, the junior out of Dobbins-Bennett, the MTSU transfer. And Zane is going to carry it for 5 yards. So again, no reason or understanding as to why Justin Johnson started this game, his first career start. But Zane Whitson carries for 5.
Well, Johnson certainly did a good job for the Eagles. And for his first career start, he's got them on an easy path to victory here this afternoon.
Yeah, their defense had a lot to help him out. He was struggling there the first couple of series for sure. This will be Austin. He'll carry it to the 34-yard line where they will blow it dead before he crosses the line to gain. So it's 3rd down and less than a yard.
Yeah, yard short for the first down. They actually did just move it back to right at the 34 and 35 yard gain.
Matthew Palazzo, 13 of 25 for 101 yards passing, and he also still leads the team in rushing with 31 yards. 115 yards rushing today for the Pioneers. Whitson, quarterback keeper, right up the middle, and he'll have it across the 35 up near the 39-yard line. So it'll move the ball 5 yards. Again, it's when the Eagles move the football, they move it for 5 yards, not just 2 or 3 typically.
Had one of the Pioneers lose his headgear, so they did do equipment stoppage there, the officials. Now the clock is back running.
That was Tarek Pons, who I met this week and had a chance to talk with him during the Pioneer Football Show and asked him a little bit about their rivalry with Carson-Newman. You remember last year, he was the lone Pioneer sitting under the scoreboard. That was him. He was not involved in any of the fracas that was going on. We were laughing because Tarek was sitting under the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, they had said before the game, if we win, we're going to take a picture at the scoreboard. So he went to the scoreboard, and he just stayed out of the mess.
Yeah, he stayed out of the mess. But after that, then they couldn't take a picture at the scoreboard. Rashad Watson is in on this tackle of somebody who was running the football for the Eagles, who gains 4 yards on the play. We're at 2nd down and 6.
We're hoping not to see a mess here today here in about 9 minutes.
Not sure we're going to get that wish. Cade Parker wide out to the far side. Cade Parker was a phenomenal football standout at Jefferson County High School. Handoff on the end around to the right side. Daylight 50, 40, 30. Keithan Washington is going to be shoved out of bounds or not. Nope, he's into the end zone. Touchdown Washington. Touchdown Carson-Newman as they score it from about 58, but there is a flag down.
penalty flag right back at about the 49-yard line.
About the point where Washington broke the daylight. And when he got around the right end, it was in game. But Markel Pittman did chase him down to that far sideline. Oh, what's a block below the waist against the Pioneers? So the touchdown will stand.
Definitely an unusual ruling there because the defense is generally not blocking. The defense is trying to tackle.
Keith in Washington had 1 carry for 4 yards on the season coming in. His carry to touchdown ratio is off the charts, 100%. 2 carries, 2 scores for Keith in Washington on the year. And the point after is going to be added this time by Blaine Crook. Blaine with the chance to add a point. Snap, hold, kick is good, and the Eagles add to their lead. Another timeout, 8:17 to play in the football game. Carson-Newman 49, it's Tusculum 14. Pioneer football continues after this, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network. Tacked on the penalty yards for the kickoff. The drive was 5 plays, 75 yards. Keith in Washington scoring from 57 yards, officially 58 yards. And then the point after was good.
Well, shouldn't that have been a situation where the penalty is declined? Because it was during the run of play, it wasn't a dead ball penalty.
That's the thing. You either accept the penalty or you accept the play. But they scored on the play. So I didn't think you would have the option to do that on the extra point, which obviously you do. And then on the option on the extra point, they extend it to the extended option of the extra point, the kickoff. It'll be a short kick from the 50, fielded by Hill at the 10. He's got a near side return. He's got some daylight over here if he can get the corner. 10, 15, 20, and up to the 25-yard line. So a really nice effort by A.J. Hill, showed some speed. And a dude that's about 8 feet tall was able to track him down. I mean, he looks massive. Conrad Bryant is a 6'5 freshman out of Palm Bay, Florida. And that's where it's going to be 1st and 10.
Some of these other score, Brian, still last report, Emory and Henry leads UVA Wise 27-6. In the second half, Wingate has extended its lead 28-0 over Newberry. And it is final at Limestone, the Saints defeating Barton 38-26.
Limestone's done their part, but Wingate had already done their part. New quarterback into the game. It's going to be Hunter. And the first play for him on the day, across the 30 to the 32-yard line, is a pass completion. Richard Hunter, the junior out of South Pittsburgh at Tennessee. Of course, Camden Wellington playing a lot as a freshman out of South Pittsburgh at Tennessee. Of course, they've got Levante Adams, a freshman out of Cleveland, who they'll likely redshirt. They are high on him. No surprise we didn't see him. And, of course, the injury to Braden Phillips, another one of the seniors for the Pioneer quarterback room. He was injured at that LR game at Catawba. Here's a pitch to the outside and taking it across the 35 to about the 37-yard line, which will move the change for a 1st and 10. There's Roper once again on a carry.
You know, things did work out in that Piedmont division. Wingate is actually winning that division, playing one less game than Lenoir-Rhyne and Limestone and everybody else except Newberry, because they didn't play Newberry. But even if Wingate were to play Newberry and lose, they would all end up with identical records, and Wingate beat the other two, so that's why they advance.
The only loss for Wingate this year was to these Carson-Newman Eagles in overtime, 31-28. Richard Hunter to pass, complete to Kamani Brown across the 45 and out of bounds around the 46-yard line. And an injury to a Pioneer in the backfield. Looks like Garrett Priest, who has been banged up a bit this year as well for the Pioneers. That center, redshirt freshman out of McMinn County from Athens, Tennessee.
Pioneers do have several young men on this team from Tennessee. One that we haven't mentioned is senior day for him, Kenton Cobble, former West Green Buffalo. He was able to walk here this afternoon.
We can't use that one. Right. It's a good one, though. 2nd down and 2. The attention is to Garrett Priest, who's trying to walk it off for the redshirt freshman. Had a chance to talk with him this year, too, at the Pioneer Football Show. Just everybody that I've had a chance to that have come out to the show, just been very, very likable. Nehemiah Story out of Rockwood High School, Rockwood, Tennessee, will come in as the snapper, I think. Nehemiah also as a guard will run out. You know, Jeff Linton, the injury to him has really hurt this Pioneer offensive line just for some experience. Adrian Gum is a track guy, throws the shot put discus, junior out of Maryville High School, has been our Iron Man this year and starts at the offensive line. Hunter's going to keep it as he's going to take it across the 50 into Eagle territory to the 49-yard line. And the whistle's finally stopping it up there. And it will be a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers to the Eagle 48.
You know, we talked earlier about the post game, and what we're referencing is after last year's melee on the field, perhaps some of the Eagles are feeling hard done and might want to repay the favor.
Yeah.
They've got a conference championship to play for next Saturday. It's in their best interest to play another 5 minutes and 49 seconds and get on out of here.
Yeah, I think cooler heads need to prevail here, obviously. 1st down and 10. Of course, the scoreboard is doing its own talking. Hunter is sacked. And he had his helmet taken off in the process, and there's a penalty down. Well, that's just great recognition, though, by Jimmy Olarende, who already has had a pick 6 today. Olarende got into the backfield, and Richard Hunter had nowhere to go, and Olarende just grabbed his face mask for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, and once again, the Eagles have done just such a really good job of reading the plays. For however they're figuring it out, they're on top of the ball just as soon as it's snapped.
So a free 1st down for the Pioneers with 5:37 left in the home season. Homecoming 2024. Do you have the results of our homecoming today? Do you have that?
I did. Angela Sanchez was the homecoming queen, and David Evans, I believe it was, his homecoming king.
David had a couple of goals this week. Is that the same David? Yes. Yeah, David from the soccer team. They beat Carson-Newman this week, 3-1. Good job, Dave. Way to go, King. Either give it to him or pull it, and they gave it to him. And then maybe a gain of a couple to the 31-yard line. And Joseph Goho is looking over at Richard Hunter and say, hey, man, give it to me or don't.
Yeah, they actually kind of ran together there for a good 2 to 3 yards with both of them holding on to the football.
Well, one official had him at the 31. The umpire has decided he wants to mark it at the 32. Where the line judge still standing at the 31, and he's like, oh, that's fine. 2nd down and 9. 5 minutes to play, and a 49-14 Carson-Newman lead. They scored 42 unanswered. Hunter, the quarterback, going to hand it off to Goho right up the middle. Bounces off one, off another to the 25, and he'll be bent backwards at about the 22-yard line to move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Got just enough yardage that's needed to get the fresh set of downs.
An offensive lineman into the contest. Vernon Holland, a sophomore out of Nashville's back in. He's kind of been rotating a little bit in this contest, so.
Carson-Newman bringing in some new guys here on defense, get them some action here in today's contest.
Get them a little bit of extra. Of course, Ashley Ingram, first-year head coach ever, 16 years as the assistant there at Navy. Billy Taylor, a longtime assistant. This rivalry has just begun between these two coaches. Hunter's going to keep it. He'll take it inside the Walmart distribution scoring zone as he'll take it to the 18-yard line. It's a 2nd down and 5 coming up. I'm waiting for And I've seen Zach Maskey a couple of times. Zach, and the reason I bring it up is because I communicate with his dad through the year just about games, and not so much this year because Zach has been banged up with the shoulder. But they were going to try to get him, I think, into the contest a little bit. Still a bit banged up, but try to get him his first career reception today. And I still hope that is on the cards. And I think they tried a bit earlier in the game. Here's Richard Hunter on the keeper inside the 15. Boy, he took a big hit inside the 15 to the 13. They need the 12 for the first down, it would appear. So it's 3rd down and a yard for the Pioneers with 3:15 on the clock.
They talk about Ashley Ingram coaching at Navy, but he's also an alum of North Alabama. And probably he played these Eagles whenever.
3 times.
Okay, because I remember we were talking about my career covering this stuff. It wasn't a Tusculum game, but I remember going to cover North Alabama at Carson-Newman in the playoffs one time.
He was 3-0 all time against the Eagles. Matter of fact, in his postseason career, he was 40-1 playing for North Alabama. Here's a pass attempt by Hunter into the end zone that's incomplete. So it's 4th down and a yard. At least they took the shot. I can't tell who has, because he's got his jersey wrapped up underneath his shoulder pad. So good try, young man. I just don't know who you are. Good effort. You want to be recognized? Tuck your shirt into your pants instead of your shoulder pads.
At least we can read these numbers on the current version of the Pioneers jerseys. We can't have said that all the time.
That's true. All right, so 4th down and a yard. Pioneers have been stymied on 4th down here in the second half, and we probably jumped. We did have 1 second on the play clock. We also could have taken a timeout. So we did. We took a timeout. So, Joe, the final homecoming, you had a chance to walk in the parade. Still a lot of the same festivities. They had the pageantry last night with the social and the dance and that kind of stuff. They've had all of the events that have kind of gone on here. It's odd to play Carson-Newman for homecoming. This is not the first time. As a matter of fact, it's the 3rd time. But the last time we did host homecoming against Carson-Newman, we lost that game. It's the last time we lost at home to the Eagles, 2014.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, though. Homecoming has not always been great for the Pioneers. Since 1936, Tusculum is 18-22, getting ready to go 18-23 in homecoming games here.
So in front of the old grads. Still the toughest schedule this year that the Pioneers have faced. Carson-Newman has done nothing but help that. We'll play Catawba next week, and a couple of and I hate to say it, but it's true, the bottom dwellers of each division will square off next week in Salisbury.
Well, I mean, at least maybe have a good opportunity to finish the season out on a strong note.
Yeah, and really gain some momentum heading into the off-season, the recruiting season, and the spring season for this Pioneer team. Recruiting, I think that what's going to tell the tale this year, the first full year that this coaching staff has had a chance to recruit.
Right, that's what I was going to say, because Coach Billy Taylor and this staff came in late in the season after the late departure of Jerry Odom to go to Western Carolina, and so just kind of had to piece together what they could as best they could, and now they will have a full opportunity as a coaching staff to go out and get some good players.
Still be very young next year. We lose 27 seniors. Richard Hunter is stripped of the football. He's lost it, and it's scooped and it's picked up by the Eagles. He's got a convoy. He runs about a 10-second 40, but he's still on his feet running. He's got all sorts of guys that are paving the way for the end zone, and it's a score. Touchdown, Eagles. Where's the oxygen?
If you're familiar with the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl, kind of looked like Leon Lett rumbling into the end zone, except he was smart enough not to hold it out and get it stripped.
Sherman Turner, 6 foot 330. Just took it about, well, according to him, 3,000 yards to the end zone.
It was somewhere certainly in the neighborhood of 65 or 70 yards. I don't know exactly where he picked it up.
Richard Hunter was holding that thing out like a loaf of bread on 4th down and 1. He had it stripped and picking it up in a scoop and score for the second defensive touchdown of the game for the Eagles. And it's scored by Sherman Turner. I couldn't see who it was because immediately when he picked it up, he had a convoy of blockers around him.
I believe right now the officials are still huddled over there. They're probably going to issue some penalties because the entire Carson-Newman bench came out of the players' box to go down to celebrate at the end zone.
And listen, there was a penalty for a slight celebration on a ball that came out of a South Green player's hand last night in high school for a spike. It didn't look too much like a spike. That dude's 330 pounds, and he just took off 70 yards for a scoop and score. And yes, the entire sidelines went over there to celebrate, but are they not allowed to celebrate out of bounds all the way down the field?
Maybe it's just because they left the players' area would be my guess.
Okay. I get it. They're going to assess it on the kickoff. Billy Taylor has the option. What do you want to do? I want to go home is what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I mean, we had a sideline warning. So the touchdown's good. Well, we had sideline warning and unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, it's about time. Eagles have made a statement here today against the Pioneers that says we are not dead. Even though Tusculum had won 4 or 5 of the last 7, including 3 straight, including ending 88 years of frustration last year at Mossy Creek. We'll get Carson-Newman here again next year to end the year in a 10-game conference schedule. Point after is up, point after is good.
Division's going away next year.
Thank God. 2:25 to play. We're back right after this quick break for the kick with your new score. 21st ranked Carson-Newman 56, Tusculum 14. Pioneer football continues after this, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network. Penalty assessed. We'll move the ball back to the 20 for the Eagles. Scoop and score, and again, I'm looking to see where they've ruled it. They've said 82 yards, and that's 82, probably right. Wow. 82 yards on the scoop and score by, and they've given it, the fumble was forced by Olarinde, who has a pick 6, and then it was recovered by Sherman Turner and taken 82 yards to the house. That's quite impressive. The ball was probably scooped a little bit beyond that, but that's probably where it actually was fumbled. So, kicking it away, Seibert fielded at the 18, 20, 25, 30, and 35. Dion still on his feet, breaking a couple of tackles to the 40, and he'll move it up to about the 43-yard line. And then there was a penalty flag thrown at the end.
Well, that's going to come against the Pioneers for excessive football, and they'll back them up there on the block it was thrown.
So we were blocking?
Yes.
And so
laid to wood and excessive football.
Excessive. Okay. So in the illegal blindside block. And it happened at the 35. Move it back to the 20. So 1st and 10 for the Pioneers at the 20. 56-14 Eagles. Now they put up some big numbers, gaudy numbers against us. As a matter of fact, this is the most points since that 2015 game where they put up 65 points. But they have had 0 points against the Pioneers here of late. 21-6, 13-13. Okay, that's kind of the way. Probably 21-6 and 13 over the last 3 games against the Pioneers. But this defense has been stingy, and the offense has been pretty good. Jacob Denny running the offense for the Pioneers, and Denny's going to keep it, and he's going to scoot across the line to gain. Across the, oh no, they said he was out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
So just short of the first down, make it 2nd down and 1 as we're getting ready to hit that 2-minute mark.
And then one of the Pioneers is down. And one of the Pioneers that is down is the backup tie, or one of the wide receivers, Adrian Compton, a senior. He's also playing his last game here today. And he's out of bounds on the Eagle sideline, and they were indicating the need for Chris Linker to get over there in a hurry. He is moving, but he was leading the block for Jacob to get to that far sideline, and then I lost track of it. And it happens just before the 2-minute timeout. So 2 defensive touchdowns. So usually when a defense scores a touchdown, you can pretty much, of course, the one defensive touchdown that turned this whole game around was the pick 6 early.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and that was during that big, massive second quarter for the Eagles. Pioneers, first quarter, everything went pretty well. Then just the wheels fell off.
You know, the Eagles had gone down the field offensively on a long scoring drive to tie the game at 7. And the Pioneers had it. They converted a third down. They had kind of shot themselves in the foot as they had converted on third down, and then were backed up via penalty. And so that hurt. And then Palazzo is trying to make just a little middle screen pass, and Olarinde just stepped in front of it. He dropped back into coverage and stepped right in front of it. And the rest was history after that. But it's bad news to see Adrian Compton. He's got to be helped off of the field. He's still on the Eagles sideline, on that far sideline.
Yeah, instead of coming straight back across, I guess they're just trying to keep things flowing to play out this last minute, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. They're going to take him out around the other side of the end zone.
I think Chris Linker wants the gator. They're going to run the clock to the 2-minute timeout, and we'll take the break and return in 1 minute for the final 2 minutes here. We go to a break with your score, where it's Carson-Newman 56, it's Tusculum 14. Pioneer football continues after this, driven by Gateway Ford Nissan on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Jacob Denny on the keeper.
Denny will take the first play after the 2-minute timeout to cross the 30 up to the 35-yard line for the first down, as we are all ready and back in action. It's first down and 10 for the Pioneers, and Jacob Denny working out of the gun. Once again, the third Pioneer quarterback used today for this Pioneer team. Roper is going to get a handoff, and he's going to be tracked down from behind and taken down around the 37-yard line, where it's going to bring up second down and 8.
You know, earlier in the season, we saw the Pioneers doing, platoon quarterback type stuff. We were seeing 2 and 3 guys per game, but over the last few weeks, Matthew Palazzo has taken all the snaps. We really haven't even seen guys we thought we would.
Yeah.
But today, getting some of these other quarterbacks back in, get them some reps.
Palazzo today, 13 of 25 for 101. And again, the ninth in school history in passing yards, completions, pass attempts. And he also scored a touchdown today. Denny on a little end around keeper across the 40 up to the 41-yard line, took a big hit, and they'll mark him down at the 42. We're going to be third down and about 3.
Under a minute to go here in the final home game of the season.
Here comes Zach Maskey into the game. I'll get a chance to see if he gets this play. And again, I've been watching for it. Again, his dad kind of tipped me off to it. to kind of be hopeful that will actually happen here on 3rd down and 3 with 40 seconds to play here in the football game. Maskey is set in the slot to the near side with 2 wideouts to the far side and 2 to the near side. Denny with the back to his right. This is going to be Denny, who's going to be trapped, and he's going to be sacked all the way back around the 36-yard line. We're going to bring up 4th down, and they need the 45 for a first with 20 seconds to play. Not sure they'll get a playoff.
Yeah, right now, if I'm Pioneers, I'll let the clock run out. That way you're not ending your final home play of the season on a punt.
Yeah. So a Pioneer team that came in here with a lot of expectation today. They lead at 7-0, but the Carson-Newman Eagles rattled off 42 unanswered against this Pioneer team, and they end a 3-game losing skid to the Pioneers. They also end a 4-game losing skid here at Pioneer Field, and definitely the talons into the Pioneers today, deep. Talons up, talons whatever you want to say.